We have a big bottlenecks down there in the Soaveri road. So this is a huge bottleneck. Even if that airport is coming, so we are really not able to go there because there is a huge bottlenecks. In terms of our highways, so that highway is there, but coming from highway to the society, this is a big bottlenecks. I think there are few issues in the society itself that you need to take care. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to us. So this is what we're understanding. Even in Ghaziabad, pollution remains on top of mind of the voters here. And what we are also looking forward to, of course, in this constituency, the main question that, remains here is between the BJP and the Samajwadi Party and the electors, whether, they'll be voting in, because the Samajwadi Party has never won in this seat before.
Right. So it's very interesting, Tanushka, that voters are talking not just about caste dynamics that political parties have been emphasizing on. They also want better infrastructure, governance, and also solutions to pollution. Over to you, Ranveer. In Eastern UP, there's a large number of OBCs, and of course, we see important seats like Phulpur also witnessing bypolls today. Also, in Central UP, there is a huge number of Dalit population. It was this campaign saw face-off between Sapa and BJP over PDA issues and also versus Yogi Adityanath's famous "Batenge to Katenge." Tell us, how is the political caste dynamics working out in Central UP and also in parts in and around Kanpur, which is where you are? And also, most importantly, does the Samajwadi Party see a chance to retain all the 4 seats that it won in last time?
Vasudha, today is the semi-final of 2027 UP Assembly seats, and that's why we can say that this is a fight of prestige between Bharatiya Janata Party and Samajwadi Party. In the Lok Sabha election, Samajwadi Party won 37, but BJP won just 33 seats, and that's why this is a by-election which is not going to impact or harm Yogi Adityanath government, but also Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav and Yogi Adityanath are fighting for their prestiges. I'm in Kanpur, and you can see a heavy security deployment, which is a political issue in this by-election. Samajwadi Party claimed that due to this kind of security arrangements and policemen, Bharatiya Janata Party government is trying to influence the voters, while BJP says that they want a fair election, a transparent election, and that's why this heavy security arrangements have been deployed. So each and everything is a political issue in Uttar Pradesh. And if you're talking about caste politics, obviously, PDA versus Batoge to Katoge. This is the main political issue.
Okay, Ranveer, just hold on to that thought of yours. Akshay Kumar, celebrity Bollywood actor, has just cast his vote, and he is going to speak.
सबसे पहले पहुंचे हैं, आपसे पहले भी लोग पहुंचे थे. अर्ली आकर अपनी जिम्मेदारी निभाना कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है सर आपके लिए?
बस बहुत बढ़िया है, बढ़िया. आप भी तो आ गए थे, आप तो मुझसे पहले आ गए थे.
अक्षय सर हाथ का गर्दन नहीं मिला. अक्षय सर.
Okay, that was Akshay Kumar, celebrity and Bollywood actor, casting his vote and speaking to media. We were telling you about the important bypolls that are taking place in the country. There's also the important constituency of Gidarbaha in Punjab, where the wife of Congress MP Raja Waring, Amrita Waring, makes a political debut today. My colleague Gurpreet is covering this particular battle, and Amrita Waring's battle is against former Finance Minister Manpreet Badal. Gurpreet, over to you. Tell us how important is this battle for both sides, because Manpreet Badal has been waiting in the wings for a long time, but this is also a constituency that he has represented in the past. In some ways, it is he is coming back after a break, and of course there is Mr. Waring's wife, and Mr. Waring is an MP from there. Tell us, how critical is this battle for both sides?
Well, if we can talk about a bypoll which is happening in Punjab, around 4 constituencies where we have seen this bypoll is happening. All the constituencies are very important for all the political party, whether it's the Congress, Aam Aadmi Party or the BJP. We have seen here in Gidarbaha, we have seen heavyweights are contesting from this Gidarbaha, and the Congress chief Amarinder Singh Raja Vading's wife Amrita Vading is contesting election as a Congress candidate from this constituency, and Aam Aadmi Party Dimpy Dillo, Hardeep Singh Dillo, who was one time was confidant of Sukhbir Singh Badal. He is also contesting from Aam Aadmi Party. So this time Aam Aadmi Party has been saying it's the mid-term mandate, and they are also looking forward. They say a lot of development has been made in the state of Punjab, and for Aam Aadmi Party it's a litmus test. If they are able to get mandate from the people of Punjab, that means they had got acceptance of their development, whatever they had made. At the same time, if we can talk about the BJP, this was one of the main Badal bastion, and BJP Manpreet Badal, who has pitched from here this constituency, is also looking forward to get victory from this constituency, because Manpreet Badal had started his career from here, and at one point of time this Giderba was a Badal bastion before Amrinder Singh Raja Vading. So they are trying to retain that vote bank, and fortunately one thing which we have seen, Manpreet Badal has been camping, and he has been brought a lot of center policy to tell the people that how he is going to make development in this Giderba. At the same time, Shromani Akali Dal, that was Sukhbir Singh Badal, he did not even pitch any candidate from here. So that will be the deciding factor if we can talk about the vote bank, and we can see Akali Dal vote where it is going. Dimpy Dillo, Hardeep Singh Dillo, that who is candidate from Aam Aadmi Party. He was earlier contested 2 times election from Akali Dal seat. So whether he will be able to gain that vote bank from Akali Dal or not, and Manpreet Badal will be able to get that vote bank from there, because he is from the Badal family and it was a Badal bastion. At the same time, Amrinder Singh Raja Vading, who has been contested election 3 times here, and he was able to win 3 times from here. So it seems it's a very, very tough battle, and it has a lot of importance in Punjab politics if we can talk about this Giderba seat. So let's see that how the voters are going to cast their vote, and which party and which leader will be able to get victory from this constituency. Back to studio.
Right. Thank you, Gurpreet. My colleague joining us from Giderba, another prestige seat that will witness a direct face-off between, of course, the Congress party and Manpreet Badal this time. So clearly, and the BJP this time. So clearly, a lot of seats are witnessing high-spirited electoral battle this time, with 38 seats in Jharkhand and 288 seats in Maharashtra, which of course makes it the most critical battle. We are tracking that very closely for you. In fact, we have a team of reporters across the country who will be getting us the fastest and most accurate updates. Stay with us. Time for a short break.
Download any single ID partner app, link your card and earn reward with top brand.
Get it free with single ID.
This week on India Ascends. All eyes on upcoming Rio G20. India poised to mend emerging economies, G7 divisions. Trump 2.0. Is it time up, Trudeau? Ottawa stares at fresh turmoil. Chinese security personnel in Pakistan. Is it Beijing's bid to colonize Islamabad? And in Bangladesh, why does Attorney General want secular removed from the constitution? All this and more only on India Ascends with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
We reached an agreement on patrolling. We have gone back to where the situation was in 2020, and we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024, the India Century. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inaugural session at the NDTV Summit outlined his vision for the India Century, driven by aspirational India.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने।
The summit brought together prominent global leaders, highlighting India's pivotal role on the world stage.
Not just Indians trusting India's leadership, but the global South especially trusting India's leadership.
Permanent seat on the UN Security Council is something that should be India's right.
Canada is concerned, I think there are some very specific issues. I think a lot of people know that.
AI is going to be one of the most important, drivers.
It's a very exciting time for India, Indian cinema as well at a global level.
NDTV World Summit was more than just a conversation. It was a confluence of ideas poised to shape our global future.
तालियों के साथ हम स्वागत करेंगे आदरणीय मोदी जी का।
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की।
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं.
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही.
Welcome back. We go to Uttarakhand now, where Kedarnath, the temple town, is all set to witness electoral bypoll. In fact, this is happening in Kedarnath today. Election has to be held following the death of BJP MLA Shaila Rani Rawat in July. The BJP has nominated Asha Nautiyal, who is a former Mahila Morcha president of the state, while the Congress party has elected journalist turned politician Manoj Rawat as its candidate. Nautiyal previously held the seat in 2002 and 2007, while Rawat lost it in 2017, but won that in 2017, but lost the same seat in 2022. Well, going across to Kerala, which is also going to witness important bypolls today. In fact, important bypolls are taking place in the constituency of Palakkad, which could most likely witness a triangular contest. Remember, this constituency came to spotlight in 2019 Lok Sabha elections when E. Sridharan, the metro man, contested from here. Of course, the seat was won by Congress MP Shafi Perambal then. He then, of course, became an MLA and then he became an MP again, which is why this bypoll had to take place. It's a thrilling triangular contest between UDF candidate Rahul Mammakuttil and also LDF-backed independent candidate Dr. P. Sareen, who till recently, interestingly, was part of the Congress party. And of course, there is C. Krishna Kumar, who is an office bearer of the BJP, who's also in the fray. So interesting triangular contest happening in Palakkad in Kerala. Going back to Uttarakhand, where the temple town of Kedarnath is going to witness a bypoll today. Let me bring in my colleague Kishore, who reports from Uttarakhand for us. Kishore, this seat in Kedarnath is of course very important because it's a prestige seat, especially for the BJP. Tell us, what is the mood like in Kedarnath?
देखिए, केदारनाथ की अगर बात करें तो मंगलौर और बद्रीनाथ के दो उपचुनाव हुए थे। दोनों ही बीजेपी उत्तराखंड में हारी थी और ये उत्तराखंड के 24 साल के इतिहास में पहली बार हुआ कि कोई सत्तारूढ़ पार्टी चुनाव हारी है। केदारनाथ सीट बेहद ही महत्वपूर्ण है क्योंकि अयोध्या और बद्रीनाथ के बाद अब ये हिंदुत्व के गढ़ की एक ऐसी सीट है जिस पर बीजेपी किसी भी हालत में से हारना नहीं चाहती। वहाँ कांग्रेस ने भी पूरा अपना जोर लगाया हुआ है। अगर वहाँ पे परसेप्शन या फिर वहाँ पे माहौल की बात करें तो अभी फ़िलहाल बीजेपी के लिए बहुत मुश्किलें हैं क्योंकि वहाँ पे केदारनाथ यात्रा जिस तरीके से इस बार ठीक ठाक नहीं हो पाई, उसमें लोग नाराज़ थे। इसके अलावा वहाँ डेवलपमेंट के जो काम नहीं हो पाए, सड़कें बहुत ख़राब है वहाँ पर, उससे लोग नाराज़ थे। 4 दिन उसमें पूरे इलाके में जो हमने वहाँ पर ग्राउंड रिपोर्ट देखी और वहाँ पर लोगों से बातचीत की, उसमें बेसिकली बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट के खिलाफ वहाँ पे लोग नाराज़ थे। लेकिन उसके बाद मुख्यमंत्री पुष्कर सिंह धामी के लगातार दौरे हुए, लगातार मंत्रियों के दौरे हुए, उन्होंने लोगों को समझाने का प्रयास किया। इसके अलावा कई सांसदों के भी दौरे हुए और इस बात को लोगों को विश्वास दिलाया कि उनके ये चुनाव होते हैं, उनके क्षेत्र में जो चीज़ समस्या है उनको पूरा किया जाएगा। बहरहाल अभी देखना है कि 20 तारीख यानी जो आज वोटिंग हो रही है उसमें सुबह 8 बजे से जब वोटिंग शुरू होगी उसमें लोगों का क्या मूड बनता है और 23 तारीख को ही पता लग पाएगा कि आखिर लोगों ने किन मुद्दों को लेकर वोटिंग की है। लेकिन फिलहाल ये बीजेपी के लिए काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण और बेहद इंपॉर्टेंट सीट है। जी
Thank you, Kishore, हमसे जुड़ने के लिए. Very important bypoll in Kedarnath. Remember that this is a prestige seat specifically for the BJP. It's the temple town of in Uttarakhand, and Pushkar Dhami, the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand himself, has campaigned there. Congress also has been specifically aggressive in this part of the constituency. Time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
The last elections of 2024. It's the battle for India's economic heart. An election that will decide Maharashtra's future.
Can the big brother BJP manage the competing ambitions of Mahayuti? Can the Red Book rally the voters once again for Congress and its allies?
So as Maharashtra's future trajectory takes shape, we report from the ground.
Two visions, two ideology, one verdict. An election where no caste chemistry can yield a perfect formula.
It's a state that is splintered with power battles. The big question, will Maharashtra poll outcome unify parties or divide them further? And who will emerge as Maharashtra's undisputed leader?
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps.
And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts,
Welcome back. Just hours before Maharashtra election, polling began. A controversy broke out between the Mahavikas Aghadi and the Mahayuti. In fact, remember that it is Mahayuti versus MVA battle today. 288 seats of Maharashtra are going to vote today. And what these parties said are very important, with the BJP alleging that it is the Mahavikas Aghadi's leaders, including Nana Patole and Supriya Sule, who have been alleged in a Bitcoin scam. That's a big allegation that the BJP has levelled against the MVA leaders. In fact, the BJP also brought out certain audio files yesterday. In fact, it leaked some videos and some audio files yesterday in a late night press conference by Sudhanshu Trivedi, who's the national spokesperson of the party. But this all came after an FIR was lodged against BJP leaders, including Vinod Tavde, with the opposition alleging that the BJP was distributing money to voters after the campaign ended. So this is a war, an all-out war between the BJP and the Mahavikas Aghadi allies. Supriya Sule, in fact, spoke to NDTV, and she has slammed BJP, calling the audio clip completely fake. Let's look at some reactions to this story.
सबसे पहले वो ये बताएं कि जो इस वीडियो क्लिप में और ऑडियो क्लिप में दिखाई पड़ रहा है, क्या कांग्रेस पार्टी अथवा उनके किसी भी नेता जो यहां पर नाना पटोले जी और सुप्रिया सुले जी के बारे में दावा किया गया है, क्या वो बिटकॉइन के किसी भी ट्रांजैक्शन में इन्वॉल्व हैं या नहीं, और यदि हैं तो वो लीगल ट्रांजैक्शन है या वो इलीगल ट्रांजैक्शन में भी इन्वॉल्व है। तो हमारे साफ साफ 5 प्रश्न है उनसे कि नंबर 1, आपका बिटकॉइन ट्रांजैक्शन से कोई इन्वॉल्वमेंट है या नहीं, और है तो वो लीगल है या इलीगल है। नंबर 2, कि आपने किसी प्रकार के इस गौरव मेहता या गुप्ता नाम के व्यक्ति से कोई संबंध संपर्क रहा है या नहीं। तीसरी बात, आपका किसी भी प्रकार इस संवाद में जो चैट है वो आपका है या नहीं। चौथा, ये आवाज आपकी है या नहीं। और 5वां, ये बिग पीपल कौन है। ये 5 उंगलियों वाला पंजा इन 5 सवालों का जवाब नहीं देता है आकर, तो आप ये समझ लीजिए कि ये साफ प्रदेश और देश की जनता ये समझ सकती है कि ये पंजा किसके लिए क्या कार्य कर रहा था।
Allegations which have been made by the BJP, how do you react to that?
I'm amused, and they are so funny, I can't tell you. I'm amused by the level of, I can't imagine that elections have come down to this level. And Mr. Sudhanshu Trivedi has made 5 allegations. He's asked me 5 questions. I'm amused at his allegations. Obviously, they're all false, and I'm happy to sit with him, debate with him at any public forum, a place of his choice, a time of his choice, and a forum of his choice. Because it's all false, and I've already lodged a complaint. I have already spoken to the police commissioner of Pune. I've already lodged a complaint of cyber crime, because it's not my voice. I have nothing to do with any transaction of any Bitcoin ever in my life. So I'm amused that this is the level that the BJP is going. It shows their desperation.
Okay, ma'am, because these allegations are being made on the eve of elections, Maharashtra goes to polls tomorrow. All 288 seats will be polling tomorrow, ma'am. Given the nature of allegations and the 5 questions that have been asked, what's your response to those 5 questions one by one?
All 1 lies, 2 lies, 3 lies, 4 lies, 5 lies. All are fake lies, and I am already lodged a complaint. The police commissioner of Pune I have spoken to. I have lodged a complaint at the cyber crime. You can, if you want, I can send it to your channel. I've already tweeted it, and if anybody else makes an allegation, I will be taking them to court, because this is complete lies and false allegations against me. I reiterate, question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all lies, untrue.
My colleague Radhika joins us with more details on this. Radhika, allegations in Maharashtra are flying thick and fast. We saw the cash for votes controversy involving Vinod Tavde play out yesterday, and then at night the BJP called for a last-minute press conference and very aggressively brought out some alleged evidence against MPA leaders. How are political parties looking at this, and is this an issue amongst voters?
Well, as far as whether this is an issue among the voters, not entirely certain. Perhaps not, but MVA has completely denied these allegations. Of course, MVA says that this is a way for the BJP, a tactic by the BJP to manipulate votes and voters. But will that really impact elections or impact the, decisions or the choice of the voters? Not really sure. But this is quite an explosive allegation that has been made by the BJP that, MVA leaders, including Supriya Sule and Nana Patole, were involved in a cryptocurrency scam whereby they used bitcoins, misused bitcoins to fund elections, not just assembly elections, but also Lok Sabha elections. Said by a former IPS officer, the authenticity of this has to be checked. BJP, of course, leaving no chance there, taking a press conference, presenting some evidence as well. But Supriya Sule there, amused by the turn of events, says she has filed a complaint, not just before the Election Commission, but also before the cyber cell as well. She says these are, these are allegations that are not true, and she's rubbished all of it, saying that BJP is just stooping to new levels to target the opposition. So yes, we'll have to see how this plays out, as far as investigations are concerned. She's filed a complaint, BJP also taking it forward. Whether there is any authenticity to these explosive allegations, that is something that we'll have to wait and watch out for. But that former IPS officer says that he will present with more evidence to back his claims.
Right. Thank you, Radhika Ramaswamy, for joining us with those details. It's cash for votes allegations levelled by the opposition on the BJP on one hand versus Bitcoin involvement allegations that have been raised by the BJP on the other. Time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
So a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
Donald triumphs. What does Trump's win mean for America, for the world, for the wars, and for India-US relations? Non-stop coverage on NDTV. Top analysts and voices from the ground. Extensive coverage on NDTV.
This week on India Ascends.
All eyes on upcoming Rio G20. India poised to mend emerging economies, G7 divisions. Trump 2.0. Is it time up Trudeau? Ottawa stares at fresh turmoil. Chinese security personnel in Pakistan.
Is it Beijing's bid to colonize Islamabad? And in Bangladesh, why does Attorney General want secular removed from the constitution?
All this and more only on India Sense with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
We reached an agreement on patrolling. We have gone back to where the situation was in 2020, and we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024, the India Century. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inaugural session at the NDTV Summit outlined his vision for the India Century, driven by aspirational India.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने.
The summit brought together prominent global leaders, highlighting India's pivotal role on the world stage.
Not just Indians trusting India's leadership, but the global South especially trusting India's leadership.
Permanent seat on the UN Security Council is something that should be India's right.
Canada is concerned, I think there are some very specific issues. I think a lot of people know that.
AI is going to be one of the most important, drivers.
It's a very exciting time for India, Indian cinema as well at a global level.
Good morning, everybody. It's an important day, polling day today. 288 seats in Maharashtra and 38 seats in Jharkhand and 15 bypolls across the country. Clash of narratives, clash of ideologies, clash of politics.
That's right, Vasudha. Of course, it is the big battleground state of Maharashtra where we are seeing elections underway today. Of course, the final phase of voting also underway in Jharkhand. And remember, even in the bypolls, few of these states are going to see litmus tests for the parties involved. So we are getting you all the updates from the ground as well as expert analysis on the show. But first up, the headlines.
High voltage battle in Maharashtra today. Voting underway in 288 constituencies. Ruling Mahayuti versus opposition Mahavikas Aghadi.
Bollywood celebrities cast their vote in Mumbai. Akshay Kumar and Rajkumar Rao among the early voters in Mumbai today.
Charge of alleged Bitcoin scam stings Mahavikas Aghadi ahead of polls. BJP shows audio clips which alleges crypto scam by top MBA leaders, including Supriya Sule. Sule has dismissed the charges. Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar says he can figure out his sister's voice on the clip. Meanwhile, BJP candidate has been booked in alleged cash for vote scam.
Final phase of polling in Jharkhand. Big faces in the fray today in the second and final phase, including Chief Minister Hemant Soren.
Bypolls in 4 key states today. 9 seats in Uttar Pradesh, 4 in Punjab, 1 in Kerala and Uttarakhand each. In other
news, Delhi continues to breathe poison. Air quality remains in the severely toxic category. AQI above the 400 mark.
Well, after a month of high decibel campaign, stages all set for a face-off between NDA and India bloc allies today. Mahavikas Aghadi and ruling Mahayuti locking horns in the state of Maharashtra. Shaktikanta Das, RBI governor, is voting now. Let's listen into what he says.
Of India and to the election officials of Mumbai.
When it comes to issues, what are Mumbaikas voting for?
No, I think I'll thank you. I think that's
voter percentage turnout है वो काफी कम है तो आपका
no, वही मैंने कहा ना, इस बार मिडिल ऑफ द वीक है तो एक्सपेक्टेशन यही है कि इस बार वोटिंग परसेंटेज ज्यादा होगा. द इलेक्शन इज बीइंग हेल्ड टुडे. द पोलिंग इज इन द मिडिल ऑफ द वीक, so expectation is that the percentage should be more, especially in South Mumbai. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well, we have reporters from across the country joining us. As of now, we have Radhika Ramaswamy, Anuj from Maharashtra, and also Anurag joining us from Nagpur. Tanima, Nagpur was where RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat, the Sarsang Chalak of the mothership of the BJP RSS, voted today. In fact, this is where a pitched electoral battle is happening between the BJP, between the Mahavikas Aghadi and the Mahayuti.
Right. In fact, let's go across to the reporters first there. I can see Radhika and Anuj joining us both from Mumbai and Anurag as well from Nagpur, as Vasudha mentioned. Radhika, coming across to you first. We believe you are standing at a polling booth where Piyush Goyal is expected to cast his vote shortly.
Absolutely. I am standing in Malabar Hill constituency where, yes, Piyush Goyal will be coming to cast his vote. In fact, that will happen in just a bit. He is an MP from Mumbai North constituency, and this is where he usually votes every term. But at this point, of course, you know, this is a very important constituency as far as Mumbai is concerned, an affluent constituency, a mixed constituency of sorts where Mangal Prabhat Lodha of the BJP will be facing a UBT Sena candidate. Well, I'll just show you the pictures here. Not too many voters. You know, Mumbai is not a city that wakes up early, so you don't see as many voters. No long queues here, unfortunately. We did see a few. We did see Shaina NC coming nice and early. She's, of course, a candidate this time as well. She spoke about the issues in this constituency and what she also plans to work for as far as her constituency is concerned. But yes, more than 4,000 candidates in Frey, Tanima and Vasudha. 288 seats is what we are talking about. 36 seats in Mumbai itself. It is Sena versus Sena in close to 50 seats, and in at least about 75 seats it's BJP versus Congress across the state of Maharashtra. So yes, several issues in being spoken about. We know that there have been high-octane campaigns by Prime Minister Modi, Amit Shah, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, a lot of attacks and counterattacks over issues which spanned not just caste. Caste is an important factor, maybe not in Mumbai, but other parts of Maharashtra. Development is an issue that is being spoken about, but more importantly, promises and guarantees for women in the state of Maharashtra, be it Ladki Behan scheme, Mahalakshmi scheme being, you know, launched by the parties, and also several schemes targeting farmers, youth, senior citizens. So all that being spoken about at length. Will it really find resonance with the voters? That is something we'll see on November 23rd. But at the moment, of course, voting beginning in the state of Maharashtra. In Mumbai, we're not seeing as many voters. No long queues, but let me just go across to one of the voters here. Yes, ma'am. हाँ, आप जल्द.
पहले तो इनको रुकिए, क्योंकि आज मेरे सर्वेंट लोग हैं, तो वो लोग सिपेटिंग पर गए, एक भी बस नहीं आई, कम से कम 2 से 3 हज़ार आदमी वापस आया, वोटिंग नहीं कर पा सका.
ओके. ओके, कौन से कंस्टिट्यूंसी की बात कर रहे हैं?
ये मैं कर रही हूँ रत्नागिरी तरफ, पंदेरी.
अच्छा, ओके. सो इश्यूज इन दैट कंस्टिट्यूंसी. मैम, यू जस्ट वोटेड हियर. टेल अस, इधर आपके इश्यूज क्या है? कौन से इश्यूज के लिए, क्या मुद्दे में आपने वोट किया इन मलबार हिल?
मैंने मलबार हिल में इसीलिए वोट किया बिकॉज काम करते हैं उसको देना चाहिए. नंबर 1 कोस्टल रोड, नंबर 2 अटल सेतु, और कोई भी चीज़ का, छोटे से छोटे चीज़ का काम हम देख रहे हैं. जैसे मैं बहुत ट्रैवलिंग कर रही हूँ, तो वैसे यूपी में देखो या कहीं भी जगह पे देखो, या तो काशी विश्वनाथ देखिए, जहाँ जहाँ काम का ग्रोथ है, तो वो मैं उसको ही वोट देगी.
All right, great. So this is something being spoken about by voters at length. Development is a strong argument as far as voters here are concerned. She's talking about Coastal Road, Atal Setu, something that is being spoken about at length by Mahayuti as well. They've been riding high on many of these development projects, which is finding resonance at least with the people of the city of Mumbai.
Reporting from Malabar Hills, one of those prestige seats, Mangal Prabhat Lodha, the Guardian Minister of Mumbai, is contesting from in one of those unique contests, Tanima, where the BJP is pitted against UBT Sena, which is not really the case in many other constituencies. Let me also go across to Anurag, who joins us from Nagpur. Nagpur is in Vidarbh, and Vidarbh is where maximum seats are BJP versus Congress, and this is also where the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, the Home Minister, is contesting from Nagpur Southwest. He's been a mayor of the city, and he's always spoken in favor of Vidarbh. Tell us how critical is this battle for Devendra Fadnavis, also for the BJP, which is hoping to make a comeback in Vidarbha.
Yes, as you pointed out, we are in Nagpur, the ideological hub of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and, central to the Vidarbha region. And my camera person will show you the visuals inside this booth because just, few minutes back, RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat came here and he voted. And yes, Vidarbha and particularly Nagpur is witnessing intense political activity as Devendra Fadnavis vies for his 4th consecutive term and 6th overall as an MLA. And before delimitation in 2008, Fadnavis represented the Nagpur West seat for 2 terms. And, we will also try and talk to a few of the voters who are just coming out from this particular booth. But before that, because we are not allowed to go inside, Nagpur's Vidhan Sabha seat has consistently seen fierce contests between the BJP and the Congress in the last elections. Congress candidate Nana Patole. We are being just joined by a few of the voters who are coming out from this polling booth. Sir, आपने अभी वोट नहीं किया? आप अच्छा आइए आ जाइए अच्छा तो अभी आप वोट नहीं कर पाए वहाँ गर्दी है अच्छा गर्दी है नहीं होता ज़्यादा अच्छा मैम आइए अच्छा आ जाइए इधर आ जाइए ताकि आप लोगों को परेशानी ना हो आपका नाम सर सुभाष तांबेकर जी मैम आपका नाम नीलिमा जी तो आपने वोट डाल दिया तो आपने हमारे दर्शकों के लिए आप कम से कम वो दिखा दीजिए ये नीलिमा जी और जो लोग अभी तक नागपुर में वोट देने नहीं आए हैं वो आएँ और अपना मतदान करें तो आपका मुद्दा क्या होगा इस बार के चुनाव के लिए
मुद्दा तो इस समय एक लाडली की वजह से काफ़ी फर्क पड़ने वाला
लड़की की वजह से काफ़ी फर्क पड़ने
हाँ
वाला है
और अभी ये जो खिचड़ी जो हो गई है
हाँ
तो उसके कारण काफ़ी फर्क पड़ेगा अभी इस वजह से हम जो सरकार है उसी को कंटिन्यू करेंगे
अच्छा तो आपने तो अपना मत साफ कर दिया आप कुछ कह रहे थे कि मैम को दिक्कत हो रही कुछ व्हील चेयर वगैरह नहीं है
व्हील चेयर नहीं वो चल सकती उसका मतदान हो गया लेकिन मेरा मतदान यहाँ पर है
अच्छा
अब यहाँ तो यहाँ बहुत बड़ी लाइन है
अच्छा
एक ही जगह दोनों मतदान चाहिए ना
अच्छा
इसका नंबर इधर मेरा नंबर उधर इसके कारण परेशानी हो रही है
चलिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर तो यू हैव हर्ड फ्यू ऑफ द वोटर्स एंड बेसिकली unlike what you have seen there in Malabar Hills, and Radhika showed us those visuals, here, the voters are coming up in large numbers and their voting is underway in this particular polling booth. Back to you.
Tanima, you could see visuals of Mohan Bhagwat, who came and voted today as Sanchalak of the RSS, and you can also see senior leaders of the RSS, including Sunil Ambekar. And Supriya Sule, the MP from Baramati, is also casting her vote, and she could be speaking to the media soon. She is at the center of this controversy involving Bitcoin. Some very serious allegations have been raised by the BJP, but of course, Baramati is witnessing this high-profile contest again between Yogendra Pawar and Ajit Pawar, the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra.
That's right. That is one of the key face-offs in Maharashtra today. But also turning to Thane, and Anuj is reporting out of Thane, which is of course a stronghold of Chief Minister Eknath Shinde. So Anuj, like Radhika was showing around in Mumbai, are voters trickling in Thane, or is it is there voting in larger numbers?
Although these two places are located close to one another, but there's a lot of difference between Thane and Mumbai. I'd just ask my camera person, Mr. Mandal, to show around. You can see that the voters have already started to come in since morning, and it is a considerably higher number of people as compared to what is the case in Mumbai. When you leave Mumbai, you just not get away from the humid place of Mumbai. The air gets a little cooler, and the excitement of people to vote also seems to be increasing. We see that there has been activity since morning here as far as the voting is concerned. People have been coming out in groups. We've seen that people of all ages have made it a point to come here early in the morning, and that usually is the case in several cities, in several parts or several regions which are in the hinterland of the state, where people want to get done with their voting pattern right in the morning so that they can have the rest of the holiday for themselves. And that, of course, is a very healthy sign. But what we see here is that Eknath Shinde will be present here at this particular polling booth in a short while from now onwards, and he'll be locking horns against Kedar Kedar's Dige, who is who is the nephew of his political guru, that is Mr. Dige, late Mr. Anand Dige, and that battle is going to be something. Now there are a few voters present there. We'd just like to go and try and have a word with them about what their issue seems to be. Hello sir. सर वोटिंग से पहले कौन से इश्यूज है जिसके बारे में आप बात करना चाहेंगे, कौन से इश्यूज को मद्देनजर रखते हुए आप वोटिंग करने के लिए जा रहे हो आज?
कुछ चेंजेस होगा ना, मतलब जैसे कि कुछ चेंजेस वगैरह बदलाव के लिए
यहाँ पे पिछले 3 टर्म से चीफ मिनिस्टर एकनाथ शिंदे एमएलए रहे हुए, अभी वो तो स्टेट चीफ मिनिस्टर भी है, तो क्या आपको लगता है कि और भी बदलाव हो सकता है इस कंस्टिट्यूएंसी में, कि वो चीफ मिनिस्टर रह के उतना बदलाव नहीं आया?
हो सकता है।
कौन सी एरियाज में हो सकता है आपके हिसाब से?
मतलब ऑल ओवर महाराष्ट्र।
ऑल ओवर महाराष्ट्र। और इस एरिया में स्पेसिफिक?
इस एरिया में वैसे भी मतलब पहले से मतलब यही के लोकल है, तो फिर यहाँ पे तो है ही। हाँ
अच्छा सर, आपने वोट दे दिया?
हाँ, वोट दिया।
एक बार दिखा दीजिए उनको सर, वोट दे दिया आपने? So we've seen that even senior citizens are making a point to come here to vote early. सर आप बताइए कि कौन से इश्यूज है इस पर्टिकुलर कंस्टिट्यूएंसी में, इस मतदार संघ में, जिसको देख के आपने वोटिंग दिया है?
अभी उसका नाम ले सकता है, वोटिंग दिया उसको?
नहीं, आप जरूरत नहीं।
जरूरत नहीं। अच्छा, जिसको जो हमारे एरिया में कितना साल से वो अच्छी तरह से काम कर रहा है, अच्छी सबकी सेवा भी कर रहे, बहुत अच्छा है आदमी। छोटापन से हम उसको पहचानता है, उसका नाम न रखा, आपने मना किया, इसलिए नाम नहीं ले रहा हूँ, लेकिन बहुत अच्छा आदमी है वो, उसको ही हम वोटिंग किया है। ओके, thank you.
We're seeing that there's a slightly different pattern across the state. While some people would be voting on the issues there, when you come to such high-profile constituencies, individual becomes a little overpowering, over the issues, and that is what can also determine the entire process of the procedure of the election.
Well, it's very interesting, Tanima, that most voters are speaking about candidates, which is quite a unique aspect, and that's what this particular voter was also telling Anuj, that he spoke about a certain candidate, and that's what we heard. Even voters talked to Anurag in Nagpur. So clearly many questions being raised here with respect to Maharashtra. Is it going to be finally a politically stable government in place? What's going to be the future of the Senas? What are the Pawars going to do? And is the BJP going to make a comeback? Is it going to be a revenge for the BJP for what it saw in Lok Sabha elections of 2024? Is it going to be a battle of narratives? Many questions there.
Right. In fact, to discuss this further, we are also joined by Neeja Chaudhary and
Nikhil
Upadhyay, both senior journalists. Of course, the focus is on Maharashtra, but we also have elections in Jharkhand and key bypolls underway as well. Let me take the first question to Neeja Chaudhary. Ma'am, we've of course seen that, it was the MVA which had an edge in the recently held Lok Sabha elections. Do you see that the gap that we saw between that and this, that the Mahayuti has been able to course correct in certain areas that they clearly saw a shortfall in the Lok Sabha elections?
Yeah, when the Lok Sabha elections took place, and remember, this was an election under the leadership of Narendra Modi. It was for parliament, for prime ministership, and yet the Maharashtra MVA did very well. 30 out of 48 seats, and the BJP was reduced to 17 only. So that advantage in Lok Sabha nationally was expected to be translated to the assembly elections when they took place. It's a natural kind of phenomenon. But in the recent months and weeks, the Mahayuti has course corrected, you're absolutely right, and has been catching up. So today, when you talk to people in Maharashtra, very few will actually venture out to say this one is going to win or that one is going to win. It's a very close contest. It's a hyper-local election. It's down to every constituency. Of course, the 6 regions are very different, but local issues are dominating. And also, it's a very fractured election. You have, 3 parties on Mahayuti side, 3 parties on MVA side, then their allies, and then other parties in the fray which are going to cut into their votes, whether it's MNS or BSP or Chandrasekhar Azad's party or MIM. And then, of course, a large number of independents and party rebels, some of them backed by big leaders for their own purposes. So what the outcome is going to be, we don't know. But broadly speaking, if I may put it at the risk of oversimplifying the whole thing, it is a lineup of Maratha, Muslim, Dalit. That has been a winning combination for the Congress, NCP and MVA in the past, right from the days of YB Chavan, and countered by this Ladki Behan Yojana, which could be a game changer, and the women's constituency responding to this in a big way. I saw women excited, Dalit women, OBC women, Maratha women when I was there. What the result is going to be, we'll see on the 23rd.
Okay, Nikhil Upadhyay, the meta-narratives of Jharkhand, be it welfare, because there was a lot of focus around Maya Vandan Yojana, and also tribal identity, with the JMM saying that it will protect the Sarna code. It was making it clear that tribals are distinct from the Sanatan version of what Hindus are. And of course, the BJP saying that it's the infiltrators from Bangladesh were responsible for the reduction in tribal numbers. Has Jharkhand ever been known to respond to these kind of political narratives?
You see, as far as this Bangladesh issue is concerned, I think this is the first time it has been flagged in such a big way. So it will be difficult to say, there is no precedent to say whether people of Jharkhand are going to respond to this or not. But definitely these issues impact people's psyche. And this has been an issue. This is a reality of Jharkhand. There has been infiltration, but there are bigger issues in Jharkhand, and I think they will decide the outcome of these polls. And these are issues of unemployment, the migration of tribal voters in a very big way, and the ground situation. Whatever BJP claims and whatever BJP is doing, but I think it will be very difficult for BJP to make a very big inroad in JMM tribal votes. Last time JMM won out of 26 out of 28 reserve seats. So I think on ground, BJP is trying its best to cut into the tribal votes, but I don't think it is going to make much difference. There are other issues, of course, and they will make difference. I think the NDA is far better prepared than this India bloc. Congress, I think, has been a very big letdown, because Congress campaign I don't think it is up to the mark. You have somebody like outsider like Ghulam Muhammad Mir leading he's in charge of the Congress party in the election in Jharkhand, whereas you have people like Shivraj Singh Chauhan and Hemant Biswa Sharma camping there for last 2 months. Rahul Gandhi himself has been largely absent from Jharkhand. He visited for 2-3 days. But otherwise, I think the Congress campaign has been very poor. And Congress is contesting 30 seats. So I think, whether India bloc can retain...
So that is being a criticism of the Congress party. Neeja ma'am, would you like to, talk about that? Because there's been a lot of criticism of how the Congress party dealt with the campaign, because there were just about 7 rallies of Rahul Gandhi in Jharkhand, which is a critical state when it comes to the tribal factor. And even in Maharashtra, the party has not really been pushing that much. Of course, there was also a lot of criticism about its attitude when it came to seat sharing. How do you see the Congress party's attitude when it came to keeping the India bloc allies together, specifically in Maharashtra and Jharkhand?
Look, in Maharashtra, of course, the Congress has led a very localized campaign in different constituencies where different leaders have been looking after their areas. Now, in Jharkhand, yes, there has been criticism from, as it was just being said, from the JMM, from RJD, from CPIML, which are allies of in the India bloc, that the Congress has not put its best foot forward.
Okay,
it got
Neeja ma'am, please hold on to that thought of yours. Supriya Sule, the Baramati MP, is speaking right now after casting her vote. Let's listen in to what she's saying.
इलेक्शन म्हणजे हा एका लोकशाहीचा उत्सव असतो. तो शांततेच्या मार्गाने पारदर्शकपणे व्हावा असा सगळ्यांचाच प्रयत्न असतो. मी इलेक्शन कमिशन, पोलीस यंत्रणा या सगळ्यांचे आभार मानते की त्यांनी खूप तयारी ह्याची केलेली आहे आणि दिवसभरात ते शांततेच्या मार्गाने व्हावं एवढीच विनंती करते आणि प्रत्येक मतदाराला विनंती करते की त्यांनी जरूर मतदान करावं. आता 23 तारखेला कळेल ना. एक मिनिट. 5 प्रश्न मला काल भारतीय जनता पक्षाने केलेत. 5. पहिला उत्तर देते. पहिला प्रश्न त्याचा आरोप आहे नाही 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 नाही. माझा एक तर ती ऑडिओ क्लिप मध्ये माझा आवाज नाही, कोणी चेक करावं. एक. दुसरा, माझा या कुठल्याही संबंधात नाही. आणि काय त्यांचं नाव त्रिवेदी ना, त्रिवेदींनी अशी मला सांगितलं की सुप्रिया सुळेंनी बाहेर येऊन यावं. मी काल रात्रीच बाहेर आले आणि आज तुमच्या माध्यमातून अतिशय विनम्रपणे मी त्रिवेदीजींना विनंती करते की ते म्हणेल ती जागा, ते म्हणेल ते चॅनल, ते म्हणतील तो कॅमेरा, ते म्हणतील ते शहर, तिथे मी येऊन मन मोकळेपणे ते स्वतः किंवा त्यांच्या पक्षाचा कुठल्याही व्यक्तीशी माझी जबाब द्यायला माझी तयारी आहे.
यातले जे आहेत रवींद्रनाथ पाटील त्यांनी सुद्धा तोच आरोप केला की नाना पटोले आणि
एक मिनिट, रवींद्र पाटील कोण आहेत? हा, रवींद्र पाटील हे एक IPS ऑफिसर आहेत आणि तुमच्याच सगळ्यांच्या चॅनलवर असं सांगण्यात आलं की 2 वर्ष ते जेलमध्ये राहून आले. बरोबर? 2 वर्ष ते गृहस्थ जेलमध्ये राहून आलेले आहेत. त्यांनी काही माझ्यावर आरोप केलेले आहेत. एक खोटी ऑडिओ क्लिप माझ्या आवाजातली त्याच्यात आहे, त्याची मी सायबर क्राईमला कालच कंप्लेंट दिली आहे. तुम्हाला ती कंप्लेंटची कॉपी मिळाली आहे का? हां, तर काल संध्याकाळी माझ्याकडे जेव्हा ती क्लिप मीडियाच्या माध्यमातून आली, मी त्याचं एक कंप्लेंट ही सायबर क्राईमला केलेली आहे. पहिला मुद्दा, त्याची तुम्हाला कोणाला कॉपी हवी असेल तर मी ट्विट केलेली आहे. पहिला मुद्दा. दुसरा मुद्दा की मी ते झाल्याच अमितेश कुमार हे जे पुण्याचे कमिशनर ऑफ पोलीस आहेत त्यांना मी फोन केला, 2 वेळा फोन केला. दोन्ही वेळा आमचं बोलणं झालं. मी त्यांना काय प्रॉब्लेम हे सांगितलेलं आहे. मी त्यांना एवढीच विनंती केली की बाबा माझा आवाज कोणीतरी काढून हे करतंय, मला न्याय मिळावा. त्यामुळे त्यांनी मला शब्द दिलेला आहे की ताई ते सगळं माझ्याकडे पाठवा, मी जरूर त्याच्यातून जे खरं असेल ते बाहेर येईल. हा मुद्दा. एक मिनिट, अर्थातच AI जनरेटर माझा संबंधच नाही आहे काही. आणि तुमच्या माहितीसाठी सांगते, क्रिप्टो आणि बिटकॉइन आणि या सगळ्याच गोष्टींवर पार्लमेंटमध्ये सगळ्यात जास्त विरोधात कोण बोललं असेल तर ते मी बोललेली. हा, आज बरं झालं. तर आता मी पटकन एक क्रोनॉलॉजी घेते म्हणजे तुम्हाला पण कन्फ्युजन नको. एक ती फेक माझ्याबद्दलची फेक बातमी आली. ती बातमी आल्या मी क्रोनॉलॉजी सांगते तुम्हाला. काल संध्याकाळी माझ्याकडे ती फेक बातमी आली. मी फेक बातमी आल्या लगेच मी पोलीस कमिशनरला फोन केला. ऑनलाईन सायबर क्राईमला
NCP Sharad Pawar faction-led MP Supriya Sule rubbishing claims that have been levelled by the BJP. Neerja ma'am, do you think something like this has resonance with voters? BJP claiming that the MBA leaders are involved in Bitcoin scam and the opposition claiming that it's cash for votes that has been done by the BJP yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Well, look, I don't know how much of impact is going to have this last minute thing, but I think it does make an impact because the voter is becoming increasingly cynical. You know, there has been so much shifting from one side to another, breakup of parties, and this is the first election that's taking place after the split in parties. So naturally, both are going to hurl charges against each other. And yesterday, what we saw was very worrying. You know, Vinod Taude being, was there money on him? What was he about? Of course, there'll be an inquiry, but after the elections are over, will it add up to much? And so on. And overall, you know, shared values and ideology getting a secondary place and power becoming the, dominating theme of whatever is done. So I think voters also are, and yet they make their wise choices, which they will do today. And let's see what those wise choices yield on the 23rd.
Tanima, ideology taking a backseat there because this is a state we've seen multiple defections, confused loyalties and also multiple political formations, which is why power, like Neerja is saying, has taken center stage. We also have visuals of celebrities voting right now in Mumbai. Sachin Tendulkar has voted in Mumbai. Let's take a look. That's Sachin Tendulkar voting in Mumbai. We of course saw Akshay Kumar voting a short while ago, and
right, some celebrities there who are clearly showing the way to Mumbaikars coming out as early voters there. We saw, as Vasudha was pointing out, Akshay Kumar, Rajkumar Rao also among few of the celebrities who were seen casting their vote early this morning. Let me go across to my colleague Abira, who's actually tracking all the big faces, the celebrity faces who are coming out to vote today in Mumbai. So Abira, where are you reporting from, and what's the update in terms of the voters coming in at that polling booth behind you?
I am right now in Bandra at St. Anne's Pali Hill. So this high school is one of the voting booths for all celebrities. The list can go on and on, from Deepika Padukone, Janhvi Kapoor, Khushi Kapoor, Kriti Sanon, Amir Khan's family, Ranbir Kapoor, Sharman Joshi, Prem Chopra, Sanjay Dutt, and the list goes on. We are waiting for the celebrities here. The other, Sachin Tendulkar just voted from St. Joseph, Bandra West. We are waiting for the celebrities to come in anytime soon now.
Veera there reporting from Bandra. Let's also take a look at some of the celebrity faces who voted earlier today and what they had to say.
सबसे बढ़िया बात है, इंतजाम बहुत अच्छा किया हुआ है, बहुत अच्छा इंतजाम किया हुआ है. मैं देख रहा था कि सीनियर सिटीजन के लिए बहुत अच्छा इंतजाम किया हुआ है, बहुत सफाई रखी हुई है. एंड बस आज यही है कि सब लोग आएं, वोट करें. दैट इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग.
बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट डे है आज वोटिंग का, और बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे तो देखने को ऑलरेडी आए हैं. आई होप कि और ज़्यादा भारी मात्रा में आए और
Right, all that and more. We will, of course, keep our focus on Maharashtra, but also battleground states of Jharkhand and the key bypolls taking place in 4 states today. But all that coming up after this very short break.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro. World's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
तालियों के साथ हम स्वागत करेंगे आदरणीय मोदी जी का.
शिवाजी महाराज की.
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं.
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही. त्यांचा परिवारवाद आमचा महाराष्ट्रवाद.
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 1,75,000 जागा रिक्त पण का भरत नाही? राज्याची जनतेच्या घमाच्या पैशाची तिजोरी लुटण्यासाठी हे सरकार आहे.
पूर्वीच्या सरकारच्या काळामध्ये निधी देताना त्यांना असं वाटायचं की त्यांच्याच खिशातले पैसे चालले. शेतकऱ्यांना मोफत वीज देण्याचं काम आपल्या सरकारने सुरू केलं.
The last elections of 2024. It's the battle for India's economic heart. An election that will decide Maharashtra's future.
Can the big brother BJP manage the competing ambitions of Mahayuti? Can the Red Book rally the voters once again for Congress and its allies? So as Maharashtra's future trajectory takes shape, we report from the ground.
2 visions, 2 ideology, 1 verdict.
An election where no caste chemistry can yield a perfect formula.
It's a state that is splintered with power battles. The big question, will Maharashtra poll outcome unify parties or divide them further? And who will emerge as Maharashtra's undisputed leader?
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted.
Welcome back. 38 assembly constituencies of Jharkhand are going to polls today. In fact, the voting has already begun. There are several high-profile candidates in the fray, including members of the Hemant Soren, Shibu Soren family, including the Chief Minister Hemant Soren, his wife Kalpana Soren, and also his estranged sister-in-law Sita Soren, who are candidates this time. There's of course former Chief Minister of Jharkhand Babulal Marandi, also the party chief, former Deputy Chief Minister Sudesh Mahato, who heads the ATSU ally of the BJP, who are also important candidates there. Let me go across to my colleague Prabhakar, who joins us from Bokaro, which is where Hemant Soren's family is going to vote. Prabhakar, Santal Parganas is going to vote today. This is the heartland of tribal identity. In fact, one of those regions of the state extremely important for the state's existence today. Tell us, how is Santal Parganas expected to vote today? What has been the campaign centered around?
Yeah, that would be very interesting to watch actually. Santal Pargana votes today, and that is the tribal heartland of Jharkhand. Jharkhand being a tribal dominated state, Santal Pargana happens to be the tribal heartland. Also, it's a political workplace from where the JMM as a political party has emerged. It was earlier represented by Shibu Soren, and now Hemant Soren represents from that particular area. Bharat is his constituency, so very big names in fray. But what would be interesting to watch today, so whether BJP, through the narrative they have floated about the infiltrators, the illegal immigrants, whether they are able to dent into the tribal vote bank, because that was the idea actually when BJP started this campaign or narrative in Jharkhand around a month back. I'm joined by a few of the voters also who have just cast their vote. She is a first time voter, by the way, so we'll just have a word with them as to, आप ये बताइए कि आप जब वोट डालते हैं तो आपका मुद्दा क्या होता है, किस मुद्दे पे आप वोट डालती हैं, कैंडिडेट देख के, पार्टी देख के, कि कटेंगे तो बटेंगे, जो बात है उसके बाद?
पहला बात तो यह है कि हम लोग कैंडिडेट देख के तो देते हैं, लेकिन जो देश को आगे विकास को आगे बढ़ाए और युवाओं को जो रोजगार दे, उसको देख के पहली बार हम लोग वोट, ये मेरा पहला विधानसभा का मेरा मतदान था।
आप बताइए।
हम जैसे कि इनका तो पहला विधानसभा का मतदान था, तो सुबह से ही उत्साहित से कि आज वोट करना है। और दूसरा जो है कैंडिडेट तो मतलब इलेक्ट्रॉनिक माध्यम से प्लस जो प्रचार सब लोग कर रहे हैं वो तो हम लोग देखे ही हैं, लेकिन दूसरा है कि जो झारखंड के युवाओं को और झारखंड के विकास को देखते हुए आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, हम लोग उन्हीं को वोट करें।
So this gentleman talking about the youth, and remember the three main emphasis point in the entire campaign were tribal one, the women voters two, and the youth and the job creation was the third thing. So they are talking about one of those issues actually which the BJP and also the JMM picked up during the campaign in Jharkhand. Yeah.
That's right, Prabhakar there reporting from Bokaro. Let me also take a question to our guest, Naveen Upadhyay. Mr. Upadhyay, we saw Prabhakar there reporting from one of the constituencies which is voting today, but largely it's going to be the tribal belt and the coal belt in Jharkhand where we are seeing elections today. Now, besides the infiltration charge, we've seen BJP also targeting the JMM Congress combined, especially on the corruption charges against Hemant Soren. While Hemant Soren, of course, has always maintained that denying the charges and also maintaining that BJP is targeting a tribal chief minister. So especially in these tribal constituencies, do you feel there is some, backlash that Hemant Soren can face in terms of the fact that he was arrested recently in the alleged land scam?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to matter, because if you talk to tribals, and they don't really bother about, because I have covered several elections in Jharkhand, and I remember a particular incident where I was talking to tribals about some of their leaders being arrested in this parliament job vote for caste scam. I think there used to be unanimous opinions that Jharkhand has been looted not by tribals but by those who came from outside and looted this state. And they think when some of their leaders are implicated, then there is a disproportionate similar voice to blame them. So I think tribals are not really concerned about their leaders being implicated in others. They feel there is an attempt to victimize them. So I don't think that issue is going to resonate for BJP, especially the High Court had given clean chit. In fact, there could be a sympathy factor for Hemant Soren in this tribal belt. Secondly, the BJP somehow, even though they have a lot of tribal leaders, but they have not been able to make a dent, over the years. People like Babulal Marandi, who are the best bet for all these years, I think he has been a big failure. I think other people, they are not, they have nobody is able to match the profile of Hemant Soren, whose father, I think, he was the architect of Jharkhand. So there is a big sympathy factor for, I think, JMM and BJP, despite all its high-profile campaign. In Santhal Pargana and tribal-dominated seats, I think
Neerja Chaudhary here. Neerja ma'am, would you agree with what Naveen Upadhyay is saying? Because, BJP also lost all the tribal seats in 2024 Lok Sabha elections in Jharkhand, but it did, reasonably well in 2019 Lok Sabha elections. And of course, this time it has been aggressively pitching the infiltrator, campaign pitch. How important is Jharkhand for the BJP, considering that it won Chhattisgarh just a year ago very comfortably?
Look, for the BJP, every single state is important as far as elections are concerned. Every single municipality is important. Then they put their all in winning that. So Jharkhand is important because, again, as I say, as Maharashtra will set the tenor and tempo for, giving either side a psychological advantage after the setback the BJP had in the Lok Sabha elections, and then it won Haryana. Will Haryana become forgotten if the opposition wins, or with Lok Sabha elections become, an aberration if the BJP wins Haryana and Maharashtra and Jharkhand? Those things do matter apart from, coming to power in the state. But I think Jharkhand is also important because when things started off, the campaign and all, it was from day one seen, as I keep saying, it was seen as a takkar. And Mr. Soren, Hemant Soren, had the sympathy and he had the hold of in the tribal belt, and that was reflected in the Lok Sabha election results. But now the BJP, 5-6 weeks ago, with Hemant Biswa Sarma masterminding the strategy of the party, and of course Shivraj Chauhan also, they decided to raise this issue of the infiltrators from Bangladesh coming into the tribal areas and fueling the fear that it will change the demographic character of these areas, with Santhal, Parganas, Kolhan, all that area. Now, will it work? That is what we are all waiting to see on the 23rd. Does it actually dent the tribal sympathy, tribal allegiance that they've had for Hemant Soren, Shibu Soren before that? Of course, in the non-tribal areas, the BJP does have an edge, and it has been tribal versus non-tribal, but this time they want to make forays into the tribal area and offset the losses that they'd had in the Lok Sabha elections.
Right.
But will it
Neerja
happen?
ma'am, also taking off from what...
It is a very close election, this one also.
Yes.
Like
Also taking off from what Tanimas asked you earlier, the corrective measures that BJP has been taking, especially after the setback that it faced in 2024 Lok Sabha elections, this emphasis on welfare, making it the template, something that we saw in Maharashtra and Chhattisgarh also in 2023, that has in some ways become the blueprint for the BJP in all state elections. Do you think something like the Maya Vandan Yojana or the Bahin Yojana, Ladki Bahin Yojana, is something that we're going to see more of in the coming elections if the BJP manages to crack Maharashtra?
Are you asking me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this is a prescription that the BJP feels is going to work for them. Certainly in Maharashtra, Ladki Bahin Yojana has had resonance on the ground. There's no doubt about that. You can see it. And women across castes have reacted positively. Of course, the MVA has also promised that if they come to power, they'll give 3,000, not just 1,500. Of course, that 1,500 has been raised to 2,100. At least been promised. Will be raised to 2,100 for the women. Here also Maya Saman Yojana, Gogo, and the BJP to counter the Maya Saman Yojana is come up with the Gogo Didi Yojana, where they will give 2,100. And there are also other welfare schemes like, bringing down the price of gas cylinder to 500, giving 2 cylinders free, and so on. So it is social welfare schemes, women being a very important component of those schemes, reaching out to the women's constituency, and of course, coupled with Hindutva, which is a tried and tested plank of the BJP to consolidate the Hindus behind them. So I think that is also getting played out in Jharkhand. That's also getting played out in Maharashtra.
Question to Naveen Upadhyay now. Naveen, we have of course seen Hemant Soren leading from the front in order to, in a way, tide away the anti-incumbency wave. But how much of a reliance is there within the alliance on Congress to do well in these elections in Jharkhand?
I'll come to that question. I would like to add one thing, about when you were talking about this welfare scheme. I think there is another type of welfare measures which the parties are taking. And that is, if you look at the figures of cash and alcohol and other things seized during the poll, I think this is staggering. I think around 800 crore rupees have been seized. And if you generally assume that this is 10% of the cash which flows in a state, so I think the total amount will come about 8,000 crore. So if you do a beat calculation, so you'll find that around 20 crore rupees have been pumped on each assembly seats. I think this is a perversion of democracy. And I think the role of election commission comes here. I think that somehow I feel that the money is going to play a very big role. And in these two polls, and the parties have gone all out of the way. I don't want to name any particular party, but I think this is a very sad thing to see, the way votes are being bought on the ground. Once you are trying to lure the voters by promising of freebies, and then secondly, now giving cash and alcohol to buy their votes. So that is, the very big issue. Coming back to our second question, how far this strategy which the BJP has been able to, has implemented the ground is going to work. I think definitely, the BJP, you have to give them credit. They have done phenomenal work on the ground. The sort of coordinated campaign they have run, I think this should be an example for the Congress. I think Hemant Biswa Sarma and Shivraj Singh Chauhan, they have done it.
So the meta-narratives of both tribal welfare and also tribal identity, like Mr. Upadhyay is saying, are
I think somehow I am unable to understand why Congress leadership had been, so indifferent to this poll. There is so much at stake.
That's a repeated criticism that the Congress party, faces in several states. We'll have to wait and see how election results actually pan out. Let me also tell you as to what are the other important bypolls that the other parts of the country are witnessing today. Bypolls in 9 constituencies in Uttar Pradesh today. Remember, this is a state where the BJP faced a setback in 2024 Lok Sabha elections. This election is pivotal for both the ruling BJP and the opposition Samajwadi Party that reduced the BJP to 33 seats in Lok Sabha elections, winning 38 seats. My colleague Tanushka joins us from Gaziabad, which is also witnessing this high-profile bypoll. 14 candidates. Tanushka, the highest in any bypoll in UP. Clearly, a fight between the Samajwadi Party and the BJP. Akhilesh Yadav was there, and of course, Yogi Adityanath has also given this very, aggressive slogan of "Batenge to Katenge." And BSP, unlike last time, is also contesting bypolls this time. Tell us, how does the scene in Gaziabad look like now?
Right, Vasudha, in Gaziabad, wherein, 6 lakh voters are in, voting in today. And what we are also learning is that it is a complete electoral battle between the BJP, which is fielded, after 17 years, it has put its bet on a Brahmin face in Sanjeev Sharma. While the Samajwadi Party has fielded Singraj Jatav, who is, they're focusing on the forces of the scheduled caste community, also, of course, depending on the caste community census in Gaziabad as well, looking at the voters there as well. And this is also a constituency wherein this, the divide that is going on at this point, the question really remains at this point that what class of people in this urban NCR area, wherein like any other urban pocket, the issues still remain that of course, pollution, infrastructure, last mile connectivity as well. These are some of the major issues of Gaziabad voters at this point. And we know that Akhilesh Yadav, Samajwadi Party, as well as UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath have held road rallies in Vijayanagar as well. And these have also happened in the last week, which has turned very crucial as these elections in Ghaziabad were also postponed. So, of course, we're looking forward to see this battle between the BJP and the Samajwadi Party.
Right, Tanushka there reporting from Ghaziabad. Thank you so much. We'll of course keep returning to you for more. But shifting focus now to other important news coming in, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has landed in Guyana, the energy-rich nation with strong historic and cultural links with India through a large community. Now, the President of Guyana, Dr. Mohammad Irfan Ali, received Prime Minister Modi at the airport. Those are the visuals on your screens there right now. During his visit, Prime Minister Modi will hold a bilateral with President Mohammad Irfan Ali and will also address a special sitting of the Guyana Parliament. Will also join leaders from the Caribbean partner countries for the second India CARICOM summit. And Prime Minister Modi also said in a statement reviewing the visit that he'll pay his respects to one of the oldest Indian communities who migrated there for more than 185 years ago. To discuss this further, I'm joined by Gerald Bryan, senior reporter of the Guyana Times. Thank you so much, Mr. Bryan, for joining us on the show. This is, of course, the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister in over 50 years. How is Guyana viewing this visit of Prime Minister Modi?
Thank you for having me. Guyana is viewing the visit in very favorable light. There is a lot to discuss between Guyana and India. Guyana signed an MOU earlier this year with India. Hello?
Right, please continue, Mr. Bryan. Yes.
Yeah. Guyana signed an MOU with India earlier this year for energy cooperation and other areas. We purchased aircrafts from India, 2 Dornier aircrafts, military assets. And it's expected that during Prime Minister's visit to Guyana, further discussions along these lines will be held in terms of military matters, in terms of economic cooperation and energy cooperation. As you know, India has purchased oil from Guyana previously, and we do have an MOU along those lines to purchase more oil. So it's expected that those discussions will continue.
Thank you, Gerald, for joining us. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Guyana, in fact, the first Prime Minister in 50 years to visit this country, and he's spoken about the historical and cultural links that India shares with Guyana. So clearly an important visit there. Remember that he is on a 5-day visit to several countries, and but while that is happening, there are also crucial elections happening in India. In the state of Maharashtra, 288 assembly seats are witnessing polls, and of course 38 seats in the state of Jharkhand, and of course 15 bypolls across the country.
Right, and we'll of course be tracking all the updates from the ground with our reporters and along with our experts talk about all the nuances of these elections. Time for us now to take a very short break. Stay tuned.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
कैसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
So a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is...
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Welcome back. Delhi's pollution continues to soar. Delhi has become a gas chamber. Severe AQI makes lives miserable in the capital. Overall, Delhi AQI is at 422 now, which is in the severely toxic category. Delhi NCR witnesses smoggy skies, and schools and colleges have gone completely online now. Time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
Donald triumphs. What does Trump's win mean for America, for the world, for the wars, and for India-US relations? Non-stop coverage on NDTV. Top analysts and voices from the ground. Extensive coverage on NDTV.
This week on India Ascends.
All eyes on upcoming Rio G20. India poised to mend emerging economies, G7 divisions. Trump 2.0. Is it time up Trudeau? Ottawa stares at fresh turmoil. Chinese security personnel in Pakistan. Is it Beijing's bid to colonize Islamabad? And in Bangladesh, why does Attorney General want secular removed from the constitution?
All this and more only on India Ascends with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
We reached an agreement on patrolling. We have gone back to where the situation was in 2020, and we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024, the India Century. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inaugural session at the NDTV Summit outlined his vision for the India Century, driven by aspirational India.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने.
The summit brought together prominent global leaders, highlighting India's pivotal role on the world stage.
Not just Indians trusting India's leadership, but the global South especially trusting India's leadership.
Permanent seat on the UN Security Council is something.
Hello everyone and welcome to the special broadcast. It's the D-Day in Maharashtra, where 288 seats go to polls in one phase. In fact, the polling has already begun. That's right. Maria is joining me on the broadcast, and as we have in fact been reporting the battleground states of Maharashtra, where we are seeing voting taking place in 288 constituencies, but also it's the final phase of elections in Jharkhand and several big faces in the fray, including Chief Minister Hemant Soren, who's contesting from the Barhet seat. We'll also be looking at some of the key bypolls where elections are taking place today. And there are several reporters who will be joining us through the show, as well as experts, Maria. Absolutely. 9 crucial bypolls in the state of Uttar Pradesh, where at stake is the Chief Minister's prestige. So the big headlines this hour at 9 a.m. High voltage battle in Maharashtra today, voting underway in 288 constituencies. It's ruling Mahayuti versus opposition Mahavikas Aghadi. Bollywood celebrities cast their vote in Mumbai. Akshay Kumar, Rajkumar Rao, Sachin Tendulkar among the early voters today. Charge of alleged Bitcoin scam stings Mahavikas Aghadi. Ahead of polls, BJP shows audio clip which alleges crypto scam by top Mahavikas Aghadi leaders, including Supriya Sule. Sule rubbishes the charge. Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar says he can figure out his sister's voice. Final phase of elections in Jharkhand today. Big faces in the fray in the second phase, including Chief Minister Hemant Soren. And
crucial bypolls in several states. 9 seats in Uttar Pradesh, 4 in Punjab, 1 each in Kerala and Uttarakhand.
Prime Minister Modi has landed in Guyana as he completes his three-nation tour. PM Modi will be the first, is in fact the first Indian Prime Minister to visit Guyana in 56 years. And in other news, Delhi continues to breathe poison. Air quality remains in the severely toxic category, above the 400 mark in the air quality index.
Good morning, viewers. It's the polling day after a month-long, in fact, 1.5-month-long high decibel campaign where gloves were truly off in Maharashtra. Now all eyes will be on what will be the voter turnout. Will Maharashtra and particularly Mumbai set the trend, or will the Mumbaikars be lazy early morning? I can see our reporters up and about early morning, and Radhika is outside Walsingham School in Mumbai. We also have Anuj from Wagle State in Thane. Interesting battle playing out in Thane in particular because it's a Sena bastion. That's where the Asli Sena debate will be settled. So starting with you, Anuj, can you see queues outside? I think you're outside a pink booth, if I'm right.
Yes, this is a pink booth, and as we all know that, the number of pink booths are increasing across the country. This is the Kori Pats Pankadi constituency, booth where Chief Minister Eknath Shinde is going to come, in the next few minutes, and you can see that the arrangements have been made. If we just, we'll go and see what the pink booth looks like from close by. It's been done to promote or to encourage more women voters to make their way here to the polling booths, and we've seen that it's received very good reception right since the morning. You can see that it's entirely, or if not mostly, women staff which is present inside, which gives easy accessibility to women voters here early in the morning. And we've seen that a lot of voters have made their way, and irrespective of what booth they are, they make their way here to the pink booth, considering how colorful and attractive it is. But when you talk about this constituency, when you talk about this polling booth, it's seen some really good amount of people's involvement, as far as voting is concerned. We've seen people of all ages, be it youngsters, be it senior citizens, they've all made a point to come here and vote early in the morning. We've seen that many people have also brought their children along with them, considering that's a school holiday, and in several schools there's a rule that they should make their parents go and vote, otherwise the holiday would not really be given. So you see there are different stories playing out here in Thane, and we've got a few voters here. Now let's just try and talk to them about what exactly it is like right after they've voted. Sir, आपने वोट कर दिया? Yes. आप दिखा दोगे एक बार वहाँ पे? बताइए कि सर, चीफ मिनिस्टर एकनाथ शिंदे इस कंस्टिट्यूएंसी से आते हैं, तो उस हिसाब से आपको लगता है कि इस कंस्टिट्यूएंसी का फायदा हुआ है?
जरूर, बहुत फायदा हुआ है।
बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत फायदा हुआ है, लाडली बहन को भी दिया है, बहुत अच्छा किया है।
ये जो स्कीम्स वगैरह लाई, अभी आपने लाडली बहन की बात की, वो लाडकी बहन हो गई या फिर किसानों की हो गई या इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल की हो गई, आप जो इस एरिया में रहते हैं, वोट करते हैं, आपको लगता है कि यहाँ पे पूरा मोमेंटम बदलेगा उसकी वजह से?
जरूर जरूर जरूर।
तो आप ऑप्टिमिस्टिक हैं, पॉजिटिव इसके बारे में?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, these are the voters who are, and not just these, but we've been speaking to a lot of voters here who are very optimistic about, Eknath Shinde repeating his another term as at least the MLA from this particular constituency. It is considered to be a safe bet for him. But, it'll really be interesting to see what kind of turnout do we see, especially in the MMR region, because, if you exclude the exteriors of the Mumbai region, the Mumbai city as such always has a very poor voter turnout. It is considerably low, even when compared to places like Vidarbha, places like Marathwada. These are the places which are deprived of water, deprived of proper infrastructure, and many also have security issues as well when you talk about Vidarbha. But even there we see voting turnout is in respectable numbers as opposed to places like Mumbai and close by regions where it has taken a hit. But it will be interesting to see what kind of reaction do people have, because whatever has happened in the last 2 to 3 years, especially since 2022, after the split of two parties. We've seen that the people have shown their growing disinterest in politics, because no matter whom they vote for, they would not know which party that particular individual will be a part of the next morning. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how has that entire dynamics come out to play here on the voting day.
Right, voter disenchantment in terms of the splits that we have seen in parties in Maharashtra have been something that we have witnessed in the recent Lok Sabha elections as well. But going over to Radhika now, Radhika, has the number of voters increased at the booth that you are standing at, and also what's the voter sentiment on ground?
Not really. The number of voters have not increased, but I'm going to go straight across to a couple, a senior citizen couple who are dressed very interestingly, tricolor on their attire, a tricolor hat. They call themselves patriotic, voters, and they've come nice and early to cast their vote, and they're showing the inked finger as well. Sir, आप बताइए, आप जल्दी आ गए वोट करने के लिए, ज़्यादा लोग नहीं है, तो आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे यंग वोटर्स को?
यंग वोटर्स आज जो विश्व में जो युद्ध की परिस्थिति है, इसमें अपना मतदान का पूरा ऑल यूथ शुड ऑब्जर्व देयर वोटिंग राइट्स, और ऐसे समझे कि जो मोदी जी बोल रहे हैं दुनिया में वसुधैव कुटुंबकम होवे, तो यूथ को उतर के ये पूरी जो आज यूक्रेन में सब ठिकाने हिजबुल्लाह में जो हो रहा है उससे ये पृथ्वी को बचावे और अपन सब एक मिल के यूथ।
आप बताइए क्या मुद्दे पे आपने वोट किया आज?
हम मुद्दे पे यही है कि बस हिंदुस्तान पूरा हमारा रहे, हमेशा हमारा रहेगा, और इसीलिए हम वोटिंग करते हैं। झगड़ा मत करो, एक बन के रहो।
मालाबार हिल कंस्टिट्यूएंसी में क्या क्या इश्यूज है, जो क्या चेंजेस आप देखना चाहेंगे?
मालाबार हिल्स में तो सब अच्छा है, बाकी बहुत सी चीज़ें हैं मैं कहना चाहती हूँ पर अभी नहीं कह सकती हूँ क्योंकि कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ जाएगा, इसके लिए नहीं बोलती हूँ।
लोकल इश्यूज के बारे में
Radhika, just a moment, because Sharad Pawar is speaking. Let's listen in.
महाराष्ट्र में टक्केवारी मागे राहिले हे एक समजणे आणि म्हणून माझं आव्हान आहे महाराष्ट्राच्या जनतेला की मतदानासारखं कोणत्याही परिस्थितीत बजावा। तुम्हाला जी व्यक्ती जो राजकीय पक्ष योग्य वाटत असेल त्याला तुम्ही आपलं मतदान द्या, पण मतदान करा।
निवडणुकीच्या शेवटच्या टप्प्यामध्ये अक्षरशः म्हणजे कुठे पैसे वाटताना कुणीतरी मोठा पदाधिकारी भारतीय जनता पक्षाचा आढळून येतो, कुठेतरी गाडीवरती हल्ला होतोय, जीवघेणे हल्ले होत आहेत, हे जे रूप आलेलं आहे तर याला म्हणजे कुठली यंत्रणा कुठेतरी कमी पडते असं म्हणायचं का?
साधारणतः महाराष्ट्रात मतदान नेहमी शांततेने होतं, पण नागपूर जिल्ह्यामध्ये माजी गृहमंत्री अनिल देशमुख यांच्यावर हल्ला झाला, तो अस्वस्थ करणारा अशा प्रकारचा हल्ला होता। असे प्रकार सहसा म्हणजे कुठं छोटे मोठे कटकटी होतात, नाही असं नाही, पण यावेळी थोडंसं जादा दिसल्या, पुन्हा त्या होऊ नयेत अशीच अपेक्षा।
काल रात्री उशिरा एक प्रेस कॉन्फरन्स झाली दिल्लीमध्ये आणि त्या प्रेस कॉन्फरन्समध्ये सुप्रिया सुळे आणि नाना पटोले यांची नावं आली आणि त्या नावांच्या ऑडिओ क्लिप्स घेऊन त्यांच्यावरती बिटकॉइनच्या संदर्भानं पैसे मागितल्याचा आरोप एक IPS झाले पण जॉईन न झालेले IPS आहेत जे बडतर्फ झाल्यानंतर त्यांनी केलेले होते, ते आताही पुण्यामध्ये पत्रकार परिषद करतात।
जी व्यक्ती एक महिने तुरुंगात होती त्याचं म्हणणं काय, याची नोंद तरी कशाला घ्यायची? माझ्या मते त्याची नोंदही घेण्याची आवश्यकता नाही।
केंद्रीय पातळीवर पत्रकार परिषदा वगैरे घेतली।
This is not even important for me to react this entire issue surrounding Supriya Sule.
भाजप आणि त्यांच्या एकंदरीत सगळ्या कॅम्पेनकडे बघायचा दृष्टिकोन किती खालच्या पातळीचा आहे हे स्पष्ट होते, त्यापेक्षा अधिक त्याच्या मला भाष्य करायचे नाही।
This shows the level of the dirtiness of especially the perspective that the BJP has while looking at while looking at political competition.
बदल अपेक्षित करतात, मतदानाच्या निर्णयाच्या त्या संदर्भात घेतील असं मला सांगणं
अंदाज काय साहेब?
असं की त्याची फॅक्टर मला माहिती नाही। तुम्ही जी काही माहिती दिली ती बघितली पण लगेच त्याच्यावर काही भाष्य करणार नाही कारण
Sharad Pawar said that he doesn't know much details about the entire Vinod Tawde matter, so it's not right to speak about it without knowing many details.
मी काही ज्योतिषी नाही पण मला चित्त असं दिसतंय की भगवत मिळावं
175 जागा येतील असं अजित पवार म्हणतात आणि बारामतीत काय
माझ्या मते त्यांनी खरं सांगायचं पाहिजे 270 280 सांगायला पाहिजे असं 150 सांगायचं चुकीचं आहे किती
170 नाही 170 येतील जागा
अजित पवारांच्या सांगता सुधीमध्ये पवार त्यांनी पत्र सुद्धा त्या ठिकाणी वाचून टाकलं यामध्ये अजित पवारांवरती अन्याय झाला त्यांनी खूप सहन केलं
असं माहिती आम्ही काय झालं मुख्यमंत्री ते आहे सत्ता त्यांच्या हातात आहे हे चौथ्यांदा मुख्यमंत्री झाले विजेंद्र पवार आता तरी बोलला होता तो कशातच काही नाही त्यामुळे अन्याय कसा
तुम्ही सुप्रिया सुळेंवरती अन्याय केला का मग कारण त्यांना तुम्ही पद दिले नाही त्यांना तुम्ही मुख्यमंत्री बनवलं नाही त्यांना तुम्ही
रेवंत रेड्डी सुद्धा पुण्यामध्ये काल बोलताना असं म्हटलं की शरद पवारांनी सुप्रिया सुळेंना कधीच मंत्रिपद दिलं नाही जे अजित पवारांना कायम दिलं
ते सुप्रिया सुळेंना बारामती करणारी चौथ्यांदा संसदेत फसवलं याच्यातच समाधान आहे
म्हणजे तुमच्याकडे लाडका पुतण्या योजना होती
Despite with sending Supriya Sule to Parliament for 4 times with the help of Baramatikars, there is no need, for any special ministerial birth. This was a response to a question asked over he showed favoritism, either for Supriya Sule or for Ajit Pawar by giving one of them more posts than the other.
सर आज आपने मतदान किया है यहाँ पे क्या कहना है सर लोगों से क्या अपील है और क्या लग रहा है सर महाराष्ट्र का परिणाम क्या होगा?
दूसरा क्या करना है लोगों ने ये फतिया में शामिल होने की आवश्यकता है और मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि महाराष्ट्र के मतदाता भारी संख्या से इसमें शामिल हो जाएंगे शांति से मतदान हो जाएगा और 23 तारीख के बाद ये देश के सामने आएगा कि राज चलाने की जिम्मेदारी वो किसके ऊपर देते हैं।
सर कल रात में एक बीजेपी ने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके दावा किया है कि बिटकॉइन के पैसे यहाँ यूज किए गए और सुप्रिया सुले जी और नाना पटोले जी का नाम लिया गया कि इनकी ऑडियो क्लिप है उनके पास।
बीजेपी कौन सी लेवल पर जाती है इसका एक उदाहरण है जिसने आरोप किया था वो आदमी जेल में था कई महीनों से और ऐसे लोगों को सामने लेकर झूठे इल्जाम लगाना ये ओनली भारतीय जनता पार्टी कर सकती है।
सर एनडीए की सरकार बनाने की कितनी संभावना है?
NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar, the veteran of politics in Maharashtra and also, of course, the whole of country. We have Anuj who continues to be with us. Anuj, of course, Sharad Pawar responding to the entire political blame game which has begun last night when the BJP did that press conference, released some alleged audio clips of which had purported, audio of Supriya Sule. She has responded. Now Sharad Pawar speaking on it. What exactly did he say? A quick word on that for our viewers.
Much like what Supriya Sule said yesterday, even Mr. Sharad Pawar completely refuted the claims, and he also talked about how, according to him, this shows the levels to which the BJP can fall down to create a fake narrative, for getting their political competitors outside the fray. But he also said that he has a lot of faith in the voters and the fact that they wouldn't fall for such cheap tricks which have been played here by the Bharatiya Janata Party. He said that it seems to be like a last moment attempt by the Bharatiya Janata Party to salvage some sort of a goodwill. But he said that the incidents that took place late at night, as far as Supriya Sule's case is concerned, are not even important or serious enough for him to address, as he's completely refuted the existence of them.
Okay, so Sharad Pawar there not even addressing that because he thinks it's flippant, it will not impact the elections in Maharashtra today. But the larger question is, do voters get swayed with these kind of last minute gimmicks that are played by political parties. Let's bring in Dr. Kartikeya Batra, Aditi Fadnavis and Sajjan Kumar. Sajjan, as someone who has travelled across Maharashtra, your thoughts on this? Do voters get impacted? Because, you know, one may say that even those who are the fence-sitters, they would have made up their mind by last night.
Precisely this election, one substantial change, if you compare to the Lok Sabha election ambience in Maharashtra, is that there is nothing called a binding narrative. This is more like a municipality election. We are calling it assembly election, but if you go, every seat is having its own dynamics. So voters have made up their mind, but the mind is made up their mind on the basis of candidates are taking a front seat, parties are taking back seat, ideology and every sort of thing. There is so much of confusion that everywhere the primacy of the candidate is their only binding factor. And for that, I would be looking out that if there is more women turnout or substantial women turnout, I think that may have a resonance for the incumbent, because across all the regions, 6 regions in Maharashtra, be it Vidarbha, Marathwada, North Maharashtra, Paschim Maharashtra, Konkan, Thane or Mumbai region, one factor that was having some resonance was the impact of the Ladki Bahin Yojana. So that is why people have made up their mind to vote to the best candidate that they perceive. It is transcending the party and ideology consideration. So the ones who are managing it better, ones who have more organizational investment, they are having the edge in that constituency. But one thing that is there among the women constituency, I think they may emerge as the X factor. Will that X factor will be the decisive game changer or not is something to be seen. But I think that people have made up their mind as per the candidates, and women are getting swayed. To what extent I cannot say, but directionally, yes, they are getting swayed with the Ladki Bahin Yojana. So if more women turnout happens in a good number, I think that would be advantageous to the incumbent. If you see the different regions, we do see that the regions wherein you have more OBCs like Vidarbha, etc., you find that Vidarbha, North Maharashtra, and even the Konkan region, wherein Kunbis outnumber Marathas. No, they call themselves Maratha, but on paper they are Kunbis. So that's the confusion. So there you find that Jarange Patil factor is not working effectively. Only region wherein I found that there is a substantial consolidation for the Mahavikas Aghadi because of the Jarange Patil factor, not the Sharad Pawar factor, was in Marathwada, accounting for just 46 seats.
Okay.
In rest of the region, I see it seems to be a fair fight or slight is to the Mahayuti. But among the women, I do see that the turnout may indicate that perhaps Ladki Bahin Yojana, the scheme-centric image, is taking roots. Yeah.
Right, bringing in Aditi Fadnavis now. Aditi, taking off from what Sajjan Kumar there was saying, you know, the Maratha factor, the 30% of 30% vote bank of Marathas in Maharashtra is of course something which is crucial for both the MVA as well as the Mahayuti. Now, there's a lot of talk about how BJP has taken certain lessons from their Haryana win. So in terms of working out the caste arithmetic or especially managing the Maratha votes in Maharashtra, what are some of the significant changes you feel that the Mahayuti has been able to bring about in their campaign since their Lok Sabha poll results?
Well, I can't say that they have had any very successful or very profound effect on Maratha politics. As you know, the race to include Marathas in the list of reservations has been pretty viral between both alliances. And they introduced a bill in the assembly. That bill was struck down by the court, etc., etc. Meanwhile, Jarange Patil had started a campaign, but even before that, there was a campaign to reassert Maratha pride after the rape of a Maratha girl allegedly by 2 Dalit boys. So, that led to a silent Morcha campaign, and all that has coalesced in a sense among Marathas that they are powerful, but they don't have authority. And I think this election, both sides are trying to woo the Maratha vote. Jarange Patil was going to become an important element, but from what I hear, he decided first that he would not contest the assembly. Then he said he would put his weight behind the MVA. Then now apparently he's kind of standing silent and making a tactical position in various places. So um, definitely the Maratha question,
Yes.
if you would like to call it that, has not been settled by this election.
Yes, but the interesting point that was made by Sajjan was also the women voter and the entire buzz around Ladki Behan. You know, the question here is that optics-wise, there seems to be that united MVA and a united Mahayuti. Of course, it started on a very different note till the time they sorted out the ticket distribution. But the fact is that it's a hyper-localized election that's happening in Maharashtra, Aditi. Do you think whenever there is a localized election where candidates matter more than the political party, then it's an open election?
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. Just about the women voters, it is very interesting that in Jharkhand, as well as in Karnataka, as well as in Maharashtra, as well as in Madhya Pradesh, women are being aggressively wooed, basically with cash, basically with an allowance, to get them to vote for the whoever, I mean, either side. So clearly, both parties, both alliances, both sets of political forces feel that women's votes are a vote that is up for grabs still. I know that in Jharkhand, the turnout of women was quite high, relatively speaking, to men, mainly because of the Maya scheme, which also gives an allowance to women, and 4 months allowances was given altogether at once just before the assembly election, which means that 8,000 rupees per woman in the household, which has, two or more women who are eligible for the scheme, is a lot of money in those parts. The thinking behind allowances for women is how much more free food, how much more gas, how much more free house, how much can people eat. So best to give it to a woman, make travel free for her. It enables her mobility, it pushes her into the employment stream, and it gives her the freedom to consume. And as we know, consumption is a big issue in the slowing down of the rural economy in India
That's
today.
actually very fascinatingly put there, Aditi. And Tanima, women voters, the pink voters are the deciding voter. They will very well be termed as the X factor of these elections in both the states. Maya Samman, and here it is Ladki Behan.
The Ladki Behan scheme, exactly. The women voters being aggressively wooed by all the parties and alliances in the fray today. Bringing in Kartikeya Batra also in the conversation. Another aspect which might be, was a bit of a trouble, in fact, for both the alliances in Maharashtra was the rebel factor. There are a number of rebels who are contesting as independent candidates across the state today. Who do you think will be hit most by this, whether it will be MVA which has to pay a higher cost for this or the Mahayuti?
You're asking me to probably resolve the biggest mystery of this election 2 days before the results are out. That's really unfair. So I think that
we are putting up as anybody's guess here.
Yeah,
because we do not know either. Tanima and I are racking our brains on that.
Maria, the thing is that in Haryana, you knew that there was one side which was at the receiving end of this factor. In Maharashtra, both sides are at the receiving end of this factor. Because it's not just that independents are going to dent the MBA, like the BJP said, a very good sort of net around the Congress in Haryana, but here even the Mahayuti is facing internal dissent, and so their own candidates are hurting them. So it remains to be seen what happens. What I can say is, given the resources that the Mahayuti has, and given that the BJP seems to be better at last mile connectivity and management, probably they know their way out better. But at the end of the day, as Sajjan Bhai was saying, that it is a hyper-local election.
Yes.
And if it's a hyper-local election, it is anybody's guess. And so you're not looking at one large election. You're not even looking at regional elections where 5 different regions are voting on different patterns. You're probably looking at 288 different elections, right? And so the point is that how can you wager a guess based on when you know that it's that granular. Now, I must add that there are some factors that are playing across the state. So, for example, the whole defections, the breakup of the party, this Ladki Bahin Yojana is working across the state. Then there are regional factors. You go to Vidarbha and Marathwada, there is rural distress. You go to North Maharashtra, there is onion prices. In Marathwada, there is also Maratha reservation issues. The Thane Konkan, the UB sort of Shiv Sena's versus Shiv Sena factor. Western Maharashtra, Sharad Pawar versus Ajit Pawar factor. And then superimposed on these statewide and regional issues are your hyper-local issues. So it's a multi-layered sort of competition. So the people you just saw who were voting, they were clear they were voting for the party symbol. But that may not be very obvious to a lot of other people. And I think that's what makes this election very complex.
You made an interesting point, because I was in Nandgaon, which is in rural Nashik, part of that Nashik Western Maharashtra belt. And in that constituency, the battle was between Samir Bhujbal, who is the nephew of Chhagan Bhujbal, and he was seen as essentially a vote cutter because he rebelled and was contesting against a local Shiv Sena candidate who is from the Shinde Sena candidate. So I think that rebels are causing a dent on both the sides. But how much will they dent Mahavikas Aghadi or Mahayuti? That remains to be seen. But let's continue this conversation, and I'm going to bring Aditi again. Aditi, in a way, while we are looking at this very hyper-localized election, there is that sentiment also for Eknath Shinde, in Thane belt in particular, where he's seen as a sincere man who has become like a common man chief minister. You know, CM for him, as he said, means common man. Do you think this election, when people vote for sympathy or they vote for revenge, as it happened during the Lok Sabha, they vote only once. When it comes to another election, they vote on a different set of issues? Aditi.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Shinde, it cuts both ways. The inaccessibility because of health and other reasons of Uddhav Thackeray is compared directly with the ease with which Shinde sort of relates to the common man, the ordinary people. At the same time, the idea of revenge is also very much present, because a lot of people feel that Uddhav Thackeray was not treated properly, was not treated fairly, and that Shinde basically stabbed him in the back. So it cuts both ways. It depends on the predilection of the voter, the immediate circumstances surrounding him, and of course, local factors.
That's right. Aditi, Fadnavis there also talking about, of course, whether or not it's going to be the sympathy wave in favor of the MVA once again, or Chief Minister Eknath Shinde is also going to resonate among the voters there in Maharashtra. Bringing in Sajjan Kumar once again, you know, if you talk about the farmers' issues, BJP lost out on a number of seats in northern Maharashtra, and also agrarian issues have been something which Maharashtra has been identified with time and again. But we also had our reporters doing ground reports, essentially talking about how the farmers said that there was a lot more expectations riding on the Mahayuti government, which have not exactly been fulfilled in the last few years. So we've seen the outreach, of course, going out in the manifestos from both the MVA and the Mahayuti side. But in terms of the farmers' issues, who do you think has the edge in the battleground state?
Let me put it in perspective, because we interacted with a substantial kind of in rural area to the farmers' household. Now, yes, if you have the conversation, in that conversation, the complaints about the low output and the prices being not below the MSP, these factors are there because of the uneven rain. So particularly in Vidarbha and Marathwada region, the cotton and soybean, and if you go to north side for cotton, but for onion this time there is no complaint because the productivity and output is there. But is it translating into something what we call as the rural distress or a farmer's anger, and will it have a election centric implications or not? I think we need to see that farmers do not operate in singularity. They are not just farmers. They consider their unit as the household. So what has happened between two festivals, you know, between Raksha Bandhan and Diwali, the Eknath Shinde government has given on an average, and this is a rough estimate, 20 to 30,000, caste dolls to a substantial number of the rural households. So Latki Bahin Yojana, 5 installment in 7.5K. If there are 2 women, 3 women, it multiplies. Then also there have been Kisan Samman Nidhi, which 6,000 from the center and 6,000 added by the state government. Besides that, the insurance, that is Pik Bima, has given some. So in total, you see, from April onward, the electricity charges has been waived off. So that way, what has happened that yes, there are complaints, but people are also saying that in their household, some sort of a caste dolls is reaching out. So therefore, it has neutralized. Except Marathwada, which has a different Jarange Patil community-centric anger, but in Vidarbha and North region, we did see that the farmers' complaints are there, issues are there, but they are not leading to what you call as the distress or some sort of anger. Because in 4 months, the Shinde government, and primarily the Shinde government, it's an amazing transformation of his image, who was considered as a traitor, as a person who was dependent upon the BJP. Now he has arrived as a leader. Kam samay mein bahut acha kaam kiya hai isne. He takes quick decision. And he has now identified more with the scheme-centric, image rather than Uddhav versus sort of a sympathy. So for Uddhav, sympathy is there, but then people are also actively considering the schemes that are reaching out there. So my view is that farmers' issues are there in conversation, but it is not leading, to some sort of a occupational identity of the people. They are not voting as farmers because the cash that has reached out to their household has effectively neutralized that depressing scenario. And therefore, I think at the end of the day, it is the candidate factor. Contrary to the perception that Ajit Pawar is the weakest link of the Mahayuti, what has happened in Paschim Maharashtra accounted for 5 districts and 58 seats. Because elections are hyper-local, so sympathy for Sharad Pawar is there, but between the sympathy and the vote comes the candidate factor. And many of the local powerful candidates have defected and contesting on Ajit Pawar's NCP.
So at many places, to add to what you're saying, there is also this issue of farmers with changes based on their crop. So the issues of onion farmers is different from grapes farmers. Again, exactly. That's different from to sugarcane farmers. So it's a very complicated farmer crisis, or agrarian, soybean farmers again, and some of them feel that the other one is more influential in terms of their reach out and what the government of the day has done. So continue to be with us. Let me go straight to Abira, who's joining us from a VVIP booth. That's where all the celebrities will be coming in any moment now. Good morning to you, Abira. When is Deepika Padukone expected?
What I hear that she's not expected. While her name is here, apparently she is in Bangalore. She's a new mum. She's with her parents, that's what. And another person who is not expected is Amir Khan and Kiran Rao. They are promoting Lapata Ladies in US right now for the Oscars. So they won't be here, but we just saw Reena Datta, who is an artist as well as happens to be Amir Khan's ex-wife. She walked in, she casted her vote. And we saw veteran actress Anita Raj, who walked in and casted her vote. But other than that, since morning, it has been a low turnout till now here at St. Anne High School in Bandra West, Pali Hill. We are still waiting for people. We have seen a lot of senior citizens coming in. As you can see, a lot of senior citizens are walking in, but hardly any Gen Z or young people walking in. So morning was really bad, but now at least people have started walking in, but not any celebrities yet. We hope to see them soon by afternoon maybe.
I was waiting to see what is seen as the look at the airport look when they actually, wait for the paps to click their pictures, to now even, the voting look of several celebrities. And what about the Khans, Shah Rukh Khan and the entire family? Where are they likely to vote?
Yes. They are at Mount Mary. They will be casting their vote at Mount Mary. We have Paras there, so he can update you from there. They always cast their vote. Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, they all go to Mount Mary in Bandra West.
Right, Abira, thank you so much. We'll be coming to you as soon as you spot a celeb there. So, but the point that she made also was interesting, Tanima, that early morning it's the senior citizens who are showing the youngsters of Mumbai, go out and cast your vote. But let's listen in to all the sound bites that have come in. And till 9 a.m., the voter turnout in Maharashtra is 6.60.
सबसे बढ़िया बात है इंतजाम बहुत अच्छा किया हुआ है, बहुत अच्छा इंतजाम किया हुआ है। मैं देख रहा था कि सीनियर सिटीजन के लिए बहुत अच्छा इंतजाम किया हुआ है, बहुत सफाई रखी हुई है। एंड बस आज यही है कि सब लोग आएं, वोट करें। दैट इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग।
बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है। बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट डे है आज वोटिंग का, और बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे तो देखने जो ऑलरेडी आए हैं। आई होप कि और ज़्यादा भारी मात्रा में आए और वोट।
आइए वोट कीजिए, ये हमारी एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है। ECI का मैं आइकन हूँ, तो बहुत समय से मैं यही कह रहा हूँ, लोगों को यही दरख्वास्त कर रहा हूँ कि आइए वोट कीजिए, हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है। यहाँ फैसिलिटीज़ भी अच्छी है, और जैसे कि मैंने अभी कहा कि सारे ऑर्गेनाइजर्स ने यहाँ पे अच्छी फैसिलिटीज़ की है, सिर्फ हमारे लिए नहीं, मगर मैं ये उम्मीद करता हूँ कि सारे लोगों के लिए अच्छी फैसिलिटीज़ रहेंगी। पूरा जो पीरियड है, वोटिंग पीरियड, वो पूरे समय तक अच्छी फैसिलिटीज़ रहे, यही मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ, और किसी को तकलीफ ना होए। आइए ज़रूर वोट कीजिए।
आई थिंक इट्स अ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ एवरी सिटीजन टू गो एंड वोट, और बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है देश के लिए। हॉलीडे मत बनाइए, जस्ट गो एंड वोट मैन। ऑल द बेस्ट। जय हिंद।
ओके, थैंक यू सर।
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Right, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has of course posted earlier today on the election day in Maharashtra as well as in Jharkhand, specifically talking about Maharashtra. Narendra Modi there, the Prime Minister appealing for voters to come out in large numbers, and I quote, urge all voters of the state to participate in this process with enthusiasm. And on this occasion, I appeal to all the youth and women voters to come forward in large numbers.
तालियों के साथ हम स्वागत करेंगे आदरणीय मोदी जी का।
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की।
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं,
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही, त्यांचा परिवारवाद आमचा महाराष्ट्रवाद।
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 1,75,000 जागा रिक्त आहेत, मग का मिळत नाही? राज्याची जनतेच्या घमाच्या पैशाची तिजोरी लुटण्यासाठी हे सरकार आहे।
पूर्वीच्या सरकारच्या काळामध्ये निधी देताना त्यांना असं वाटायचं की त्यांच्याच खिशातले पैसे चालले। शेतकऱ्यांना मोफत वीज देण्याचं काम आपल्या सरकारने सुरू केलं।
The last elections of 2024, it's the battle for India's economic heart. An election that will decide Maharashtra's future.
Can the big brother BJP manage the competing ambitions of Mahayuti? Can the Red Book rally the voters once again for Congress and its allies? So as Maharashtra's future trajectory takes shape, we report from the ground.
Two visions, two ideology, one verdict.
An election where no caste chemistry can yield a perfect formula.
It's a state that is splintered with power battles. The big question, will Maharashtra poll outcome unify parties or divide them further? And who will emerge as Maharashtra's undisputed leader?
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. how to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
I've been reporting on all issues.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Right, welcome back. And also the other state which is seeing the final phase of elections today, Maria, is of course the battleground state of Jharkhand, in which the elections are being held in 38 assembly constituencies. But today there are several big faces in the fray, including Chief Minister Hemant Soren, his wife Kalpana Soren, and also former Chief Ministers Babulal Morandi, former Deputy CM Sudesh Mahato, and several, as I said, members of the Soren family also in the running today in these constituencies where elections are currently taking place. Let's take a look at the top reactions which are coming in from Jharkhand today.
मैं समस्त मतदाताओं से मैं अपील करता हूं कि लोकतंत्र का ये महापर्व है, अपना मताधिकार का प्रयोग करें। हमें 5 वर्षों में एक बार अवसर मिलता है अपने हाथों से अपने प्रदेश को संवारने का, और इसलिए समस्त मतदाता भाई और बहनों से मैं अपील करता हूं, इस अवसर को गंवाना नहीं। प्राप्त संकेत जो मिल रहा है, झारखंड की जनता अब परिवर्तन का मन बना चुकी है। हेमंत सोरेन की सरकार जा रही है और झारखंड में बीजेपी के नेतृत्व में एनडीए की सरकार आ रही है।
All right, so you heard from Babulal Morandi making the predictable statements. These are the statements that politicians make ahead of polling. But yes, today is the last and the final phase of polling in Jharkhand. Let's bring in Prabhakar Kumar now, who's joining us. Prabhakar, what's the mood like among the early voters? Are you seeing some enthusiasm?
Not really, Maria, because I'm standing at one of the polling stations and it's almost empty. There was a bit of crowd in the morning, early morning, but now people are just trickling in. So we are just hoping that as the day passes, the crowd will swell out here. Now, today's poll happening in Jharkhand, which is the second phase, polling happening in around 38 Vidhan Sabha constituencies, is very important politically because this is actually the tribal bastion which is going to polls today. And we have seen the BJP's narrative of talking about the illegal immigration and infiltration actually in Jharkhand. And through that, they were actually giving out a message to tribals that JMM was trying to help out infiltrators settle down here, which was eating into the resources of tribals. So today it would be tested whether that message has actually trickled down to the tribal voters, because this entire Santhal Pargana, which is going to polls today, is a bastion of JMM, and JMM has emerged as a political party from Santhal only, that is Dumka and adjoining areas, and that is going to polls today. So it would be very interesting to watch actually whether tribals have bought those narratives which BJP actually played on the ground here in Jharkhand.
And the last few days have been very, very polarizing in terms of the narrative setting attempt. BJP's official handle put out a very disturbing video which was taken down by the Election Commission. Do these videos actually reach the last man, or does it remain largely in urban pockets?
No, in the era of social media, it certainly reaches everywhere. So you can actually never restrict these kind of videos to be confined to urban areas. So I'm sure it reaches everywhere. But as we know, Election Commission was petitioned and Election Commission intervened and they had struck down that video. They asked the social media team of BJP to take that video off, and also the social media platforms where those videos were posted, they were asked to take them off. So that actually played up a few days back. But today, as I told you, Maria, there's two regions, Santhal, which is the Dumka area, and the Koilanchal. This is the industrial belt from where I am reporting right now. This is the Dhanbad, Bokaro belt. You have industries out here. So these two regions are actually primarily going to poll, and tribal belt Santhal would be very, very important politically.
Exactly. Prabhakar, talking about the fact that tribal belts are seeing elections today. BJP has also, we've seen a major tribal push from the BJP in the past several months as well. And of course, Chief Minister Hemant Soren, in connection to the case against him, has said that the BJP is targeting a tribal chief minister. So in terms of this scheme of things, who has the edge in these constituencies which fall in the tribal belt in Jharkhand?
Yeah, JMM, talking about JMM and Hemant Soren, they have been actually playing this victim card. And when Hemant Soren was sent behind bars, the JMM actually went down to the town saying that, look, here is a tribal chief minister who is being victimized by BJP on flimsy grounds, on charges which actually does not hold ground. So JMM actually did play this card. Whether it would have impact on the ground is something to be seen, because if you see Jharkhand's politics, it revolves around tribals. This is one of the states where tribals actually decide the fate of the political parties, which would come to the power center at Ranchi. So that was the reason when both the factions, whether NDA or India Bloc, they were talking about not only women and youth, but primarily tribals, and it was tribals actually which they were targeting here.
Right, Prabhakar there reporting from Bokaro in Jharkhand. Thank you so much for joining us with that. Shifting focus now to important bypolls which are taking place today, Maria. Now, in Uttar Pradesh, there's polling going on in 9 constituencies of the state, and this election is seen as a pivotal election for both the ruling BJP as well as the opposition Samajwadi Party, especially after the setback that BJP faced in the recent Lok Sabha elections.
That's right. It's also seen as litmus test for Akhilesh Yadav's Samajwadi Party. Remember, the Congress is not contesting these polls but is supporting Samajwadi Party as part of the India bloc. It's a test also for the Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, particularly in that crucial constituency of Ayodhya, where all eyes will be on whether the BJP manages to win that constituency this time around after the setback they faced in the Lok Sabha elections.
Right, and shifting focus to Punjab, where there's elections being held in 4 assembly seats in Gidarbaha, in Barnala, in Dera Baba Nanak and Chabbewal constituencies. The ruling Aam Aadmi Party, of course, faces a significant challenge from the Congress and the BJP in this 3-cornered contest. My colleague Gurpreet has this ground report.
Gidarbaha is one of the hot seats, and we have seen in Punjab in 4 constituency bypoll are happening. We are at Gidarbaha. We will talk to Dimpy Dillon, who is contesting from Aam Aadmi Party. So, sir, welcome to NDTV. So, how do you see this campaign? And today voting has already been begun. So, how do you see the elections?
Elections are going normal. किसी भी अपना बूथ से कोई मेरे को अभी तक कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आई. Everything is normal. 7 बजे से 1 घंटा हो गया. अब वोटिंग चल रही है.
तो क्या लग रहा है इस बार? हम देख रहे हैं कि राजा वड़िंग जो कांग्रेस के चीफ हैं, उनके वाइफ हैं आपके खिलाफ, वहीं फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर है मनप्रीत बादल. तो कैसे लग रहा है, क्योंकि लगातार कैंपेन हम देखते रहे, आप लोगों से रहे, क्या लग रहा है आपको, क्या सिचुएशन है ग्राउंड में?
सर, एक्चुअली दिस इज़ द contest Punjab Pradesh full Congress, Punjab Pradesh Congress, I mean to say, not only Raja Varding plus BJP, 2 बार के फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर वर्सेस पब्लिक. मैं तो पब्लिक का नुमाइंदा हूँ. ये इस बार है कॉन्टेस्ट. देखना ये है कि गिदड़बाहा जीता है या ये लोग जीते हैं. इट इज़ गिदड़बाहा वर्सेस आउटसाइडर्स, दोनों ही बाहर के.
कह रहे कि वोट सिर्फ डिम्पी ढिल्लों यहाँ कास्ट करेंगे, बाकी कोई मुक्तसर से आ रहा है, कोई बादल से आ रहा है. तो क्या लग रहा है कि ये समीकरण लोगों के मन में होंगे जब वोट डालेंगे?
यही है, यही हैं समीकरण. यही मेन समीकरण ये है कि इस बार हमारा गिदड़बा जीतेगा, मतलब बाहर का नहीं जीतेगा। इस बार हमारी कैंपेन का मेन अपना इसी बात को हमने लेके टारगेट किया है कि गिदड़बा वर्सेस आउटसाइडर्स। सो आउटसाइडर्स को आउट करेंगे।
तो डिम्पी ढिल्लों पहले अकाली दल में थे, बड़े नैरो मार्जिन से रह गए पिछली बार, तो क्या लग रहा है इस बार जो बहुत कम मार्जिन था, तो इस बार क्या बिल्कुल उल्ट होने वाला है?
उम्मीद तो बहुत है जी, पब्लिक तो काफ़ी अच्छा रिस्पांस कर रही है और बहुत बड़ी उम्मीद है कि इस बार मेरा साथ देगी पब्लिक।
क्या लगता है कि जो वोट डालने से पहले जो दिमाग में क्या मुद्दे हैं, या पार्टी है या कैंडिडेट हैं?
कैंडिडेट को वोट, जो अच्छा कैंडिडेट हो उसको वोट देंगे।
क्या दिमाग में क्या है?
कैंडिडेट ही है मेन तो, और की डेवलपमेंट होनी चाहिए पंजाब की। यहाँ गिदड़बाई कुछ मसले हैं, कुछ गिदड़बाई के जैसे सीवरेज का है, फ्लाईओवर का है। अब देखो कौन सी पार्टी करेगी आके, जो करेगी उसके वो हमेशा रहेगी।
आप यंग भी हो, तो क्या अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट को लेके बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा पूरे देश में ही है, ना कि इस जगह पे, तो क्या लगता है कि कोई एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन का भी यहाँ पे कोई ऐसी चीज़ होनी चाहिए ताकि लोकल लोगों को एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिल सके?
देखो फैक्ट्रीज वगैरह अगर कोई आ जाए, कोई इंडस्ट्री आ जाए यहाँ पर, तो अच्छा है यहाँ के लोगों के लिए, अच्छा रहेगा। देखो एम्प्लॉयमेंट तो फिर उसी पे डिपेंड करती है, अगर कोई फैक्ट्री लाएगा, कोई इंडस्ट्री लाएगा यहाँ पर, तभी आ पाएगी।
पर इस वक्त दिमाग में सबसे बड़ा कैंडिडेट है, मतलब मुद्दे पीछे हैं, कैंडिडेट आगे है?
नहीं, मुद्दे मेरे लिए तो मुद्दे आगे हैं। कैंडिडेट तो चलो आते रहेंगे अलग अलग पार्टीज़ के, पर डेवलपमेंट तभी होगी जब मुद्दों को देखोगे, नहीं तो नहीं होगी। पार्टी बाजी से आगे निकलना पड़ेगा।
मैम क्या मुद्दे हैं?
पानी की सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है यहाँ
पानी?
हाँ जी, सीवरेज का बहुत बुरा हाल है, बस यही है।
तो बाकी और जो डेवलपमेंट है, आप डेवलपमेंट को माइंड में रखोगे या पार्टी को या कैंडिडेट को? क्योंकि
डेवलपमेंट को पहले हमारे अच्छा होना चाहिए सब कुछ।
Very clear word from the voters of Giderba. They say, some of the voters, they say they are keeping in mind about the issues of this Giderbas while casting their votes. Some of the voters, they say they are also picking up the candidate and the party when they are going to cast their vote. So let's see which party and which candidate will be able to win this election from Giderba. But Giderba is a hot seat which has a lot of importance in Punjab politics. With Vijay, Rajesh Kumar, this is Group Singh China for NDTV, Giderba, Punjab.
Now shifting focus to Uttarakhand, bypoll in temple town of Uttarakhand is also happening, which is essentially Kedarnath. Election being held following the death of BJP MLA Shaila Rani Rawat in July. The BJP has nominated Asha Nautiyal, who is former Mahila Morcha president, while the Congress has selected journalist turned politician Manoj Rawat as its candidate. Nautiyal previously held the seat in 2002 and 2007, while Rawat had won from the same constituency in 2017 but lost in 2022. Now to Kerala, bypolls in Palakkad assembly seat today. The election in Palakkad was necessitated after Congress MLA Shafi Parambil vacated the seat following his win in the Lok Sabha polls.
It's a thrilling triangular fight among the UDF candidate Rahul Mamkut Tatil, LDF-backed independent candidate Dr. P. Sareen and C. Krishna Kumar of the BJP. So that was, of course, some of the key bypolls which are seeing elections today as well. But we'll keep putting our focus, the spotlight on the battleground states of Maharashtra and Jharkhand, and also take updates from the bypoll states as well, Maria, as well as the expert analysis that we have coming up for you. So all that coming up after a very short break. Stay tuned to NDTV.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
So Prime Minister Modi there in Guyana being received by the President of Guyana. Remember, PM Modi is the first Indian Prime Minister to visit Guyana in 56 years.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए,
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. ND
Ladies and gentlemen, it's 10 a.m. So it's been over 2.5 hours since the polling began in 288 constituencies in Maharashtra. It's a decisive election for the state and also for India.
Good morning, and Maria and I over the next couple of hours will try and take you to what's happening in Maharashtra, a battle of narratives, betrayal, mergers and then parties breaking and so on and so forth. All that is going to be decided today when the voters vote. Which way, which narrative are the voters convinced with? Before we do that, very quickly, the headlines.
High voltage battle in Maharashtra today, voting underway in 288 constituencies, ruling Mahayuti versus opposition Mahavikas Aghadi.
Celebs cast their vote in Mumbai. Sachin Tendulkar, Akshay Kumar, Rajkumar Rao among the early voters.
Charge of alleged Bitcoin scam stings Mahavikas Aghadi ahead of polls. BJP shows audio clip which alleges crypto scam by top Mahavikas Aghadi leaders including Supriya Sule. Sule rubbishes the charge. Maharashtra's Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar says he can figure out his sister's voice in the clip.
Second phase of polling for Jharkhand today. Big faces in the fray in the second phase, including Chief Minister Hemant Soren and the rising star of JMM, Kalpana Soren. Bypolls in 4 key states, 9 seats in Uttar Pradesh, 4 seats in Punjab, 1 in Kerala and Uttarakhand up for grabs. Prime Minister Modi has landed in Guyana as he completes his 3-nation tour. Prime Minister is the first Indian Prime Minister to visit the country in 56 years. Delhi continues to breathe the poisonous air, quality still in the toxic category, above the 400 mark.
Good morning, viewers. It's the polling day in Maharashtra after over a month of high decibel campaign, battle of narratives, battle of alliances. It's the D-Day, which is the day in which the voters are deciding right now, even as we speak. The voter turnout is something that we'll wait and watch out for. Several politicians, celebrities have been among the early voters.
Well, you know, especially when you talk about Mumbai, Maria, we've seen that voter apathy is always spoken about. So it's good to see, you know, Sachin Tendulkar, Akshay Kumar, all of these celebrities coming out and voting, try and in fact enthuse the voters. But, you know, very, very interestingly at this moment, in the background of what happened in the last 24 hours, yesterday was a dramatic action-packed day ahead of the polling in Maharashtra, both the MVA and the Mahayuti being singed with kind of narratives of cash for vote, of Bitcoin for vote. It was all up in the air. Let's first very quickly go across to our colleagues, what kind of an impact these narratives are having, how are people coming out and voting. Radhika is joining us at this moment from Mumbai. Anuj is also with us, you know, from Maharashtra. He will be giving us some idea.
From the Chief Minister's constituency in Thane.
In Thane, of course. Anurag is joining us from Nagpur as well. Abira also with us. You know, we have our other colleagues also joining us, you know, on the broadcast. Good morning to all of you. Radhika, if we may start with you at this moment. Very, very crucial battle, 288 seats. And in just last 24 hours, it has been a dramatic, you know, war of narratives between the Mahayuti and the MVA.
Absolutely. Last 24 hours saw high volatile drama as far as the state of Maharashtra is concerned. We know Tavde being accused of a cash for vote scam, and then of course Supriya Sule, Nana Patole coming under scrutiny as far as cryptocurrency being used for assembly elections are concerned, for funding of assembly elections. Of course, all this being rubbished by, you know, both the respective parties, be it the BJP or be it the MVA for that matter, both the Congress as well as NCP. So much has happened over the last couple of days and over the last several months as well. You know, campaign versus campaign, allegations versus counter allegations. We did see all the top leaders descending to Maharashtra across length and breadth to speak about promises, guarantees, and also to attack the other side as well. Of course, voting begins. Not a great turnout as far as Malabar Hill constituency is concerned. I have a voter with me. He just came out of the polling booth. The turnout isn't that great. This is something we see every year in the city of Mumbai. 50% was the turnout last time. Do you think it will surpass that?
We expect that more, you know, voting should become, and people should have to come out for the voting. You know, to elect the better people and who can able to give the better service.
All right, thank you, sir. I'll just go across to Piyush Goyal here, who has come to vote. We'll try and get his reaction in just a bit. Piyush Goyal, of course, voting from this particular constituency in Malabar Hill. He's the MP from North Mumbai. Mr. Goyal, anything you'd like to say? Okay, he'll speak once he casts his vote, is what he's saying. So yes, you know, as far as this constituency of Malabar Hill is concerned, it is a battle between the BJP and UBT Sena. The BJP candidate is Mangal Prabhat Lodha. He is.
They say in Maharashtra, each and every region has its own narrative. Each and every region has its own set of issues. That's Union Minister and Mumbai North MP Piyush Goyal standing in the queue to cast his vote. That's what the beauty of, I would say, Indian politics and Indian elections is. It's such a leveler. All politicians, all celebrities have to queue up to exercise there, right? We'll go to Radhika in just a bit. And Radhika, if you can hear me. Okay, we'll try and connect with Radhika. But Anuj, come in on this now.
I can hear you. As you said, yes, Piyush.
Go ahead, Radhika. Okay, there seems to be some problem with that line with Radhika. We'll try and connect with her in a bit. But Anuj, come in now. When is the Chief Minister expected to cast his vote in Thane?
The Chief Minister was supposed to be here at around 9 or 10, but one can expect a little bit of delay considering that Chief Minister has been up and giving interviews in the last few days, and he's considered to be a person who's very active during night time and he starts his day a little late. So considering all of those things, one can expect Chief Minister to be here at best before 11 o'clock here today morning. But, talking about this entire constituency or the region, Shiv Sena UBT tried to play a very interesting card by making Kedar Dige, the nephew of Anand Dige, who is considered to be the political guru of Eknath Shinde in this region, against him. And that seems to be the case. When you look at the Lok Sabha elections, the whole point was which of the two Shiv Senas are stronger. While the Shiv Sena UBT faction increased the number of MPs than what they were left with, it was Shinde Sena who had a slightly better voter turnout. At the same time, we also had the likes of, the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Shinde Shiv Sena faction who were of the opinion that it is the Congress vote bank and it is the minority votes that has transferred from the Congress and the NCP to Shiv Sena, and the Marathi Manus vote, in which the Shiv Sena has taken so much of pride in last 40 to 50 years, is actually with Shinde Sena. So while that result was divided as far as seats and vote share is concerned, this result is going to be very crucial. Before that, I would just like to show the visuals here. You can see, we've seen this since morning. The fact that people of all ages, people of different kinds are making sure that they make their way here to the polling booth. And this really is an encouraging sign. As you were talking about the beauty of Indian democracy, this is not the first person who's come here on the wheelchair. We've been here for last 2 to 3 hours, and since then a lot of people have come here either on wheelchairs or with the support of some other accessory of individual just to make sure that they vote. In this particular constituency, we are seeing that voters are in awe of their local MLA, who is also the Chief Minister of the state. But the issues here also are about women's safety, something that has been up the minds of the people for quite some time now, not just in Mumbai or Thane region, but all across the state. And that is going to be a major challenge in front of the voters. But, when you talk about Thane specifically, one promising thing is that you can see that there are a lot of people around me. So it seems that people are, enjoying, or rather are utilizing their off, which happens to be on Wednesday, quite appropriately.
Okay, it is also playing out in Baramati as well. It's a Pawar versus Pawar battle, and within the family as well.
Once again.
Yes, once again.
Post 2024.
If in Lok Sabha it was Ajit Pawar's wife versus Supriya Sule, this time it is, as an MLA, it's Ajit Pawar defending his constituency versus the grandnephew of Sharad Pawar. So it's a fascinating battle playing out there. Let's listen in to the reactions which have come in.
पूरे बारामती में सब लोगों को मिलने की कोशिश की और मुझे विश्वास है बारामती के लोग इस दफा मुझे अच्छे वोटों से जीत के दे देंगे।
के सामने कुल 23 उम्मीदवार हैं इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में, लेकिन सबसे कड़े उम्मीदवार जो है वो हमें लगता है कि अजीत पवार जी, जो कि 7 बार यहाँ से विधायक चुने जा चुके हैं। 1991 से लगातार वो यहाँ के एमएलए रहे हैं। कितना चुनौतीपूर्ण आप इसे मानते हैं?
ठीक है, पर वो 7वीं इलेक्शन में पवार साहब की साथ थी, उनको पवार साहब का आशीर्वाद था, सपोर्ट था, इसलिए वो वहाँ
अब तक जीत कर आए। आपका कहना है कि अब तक शरद पवार जी का आशीर्वाद था उनको, इसीलिए अब तक वो जीतते रहे।
मतलब इसलिए उनको लोगों का भी आशीर्वाद मिलता था, पर अभी पवार साहब उनके साथ नहीं है, मतलब वही छोड़ के गए। और पवार साहब का आशीर्वाद और हम एक साथ है, पवार साहब भी हमारे साथ है, और जहाँ पवार साहब है वहाँ बारामती की जनता है।
The other important face in the scheme of things, and especially for the Congress party, is the man there who is casting his vote at this moment, Nana Patole, the Congress chief of Maharashtra. A lot rides, Maria, on the performance of the Congress party in Maharashtra, because in 2024 Lok Sabha election, the Congress surprised everybody with their performance, and then, at least within the alliance, there were talks that it is on the back of the sympathy for Sharad Pawar, for Uddhav Thackeray, that Congress has been able to perform so well, especially in constituencies where it's a direct head-on fight with the BJP.
Yes.
Can the Congress repeat what they did in 2024 Lok Sabha election is the big question of this election as well.
Yes, and Nana Patole is contesting from Sakoli in Maharashtra Assembly elections, and which is seen as an important battle in Vidarbha. Remember, of the 103 seats that the Congress party is contesting in these elections, 40 is the number that they are contesting in Vidarbha region alone, which means in most of these seats, Ankit, it's a direct face-off between the BJP and the Congress party. So on those seats, it will be interesting to watch out for. Nana Patole, Congress chief from Maharashtra, is contesting from Sakoli constituency in Vidarbha. You can also see Piyush Goyal standing there speaking to some journalists while he will be stepping out of the polling booth and then going and giving sound bites as well. Let's bring in the guests now. Aarti Jairath is joining us. We have Manisha Priyam as well with us. Aarti Jairath, good morning to you, Aarti. We are looking at, all the... Okay, in fact, Nitin Gadkari, Nagpur MP is speaking. Let's listen.
वोट किसी भी स्थिति में करना चाहिए, यही मैं जनता से अपील करूंगा और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा परसेंटेज में वोटिंग करें और लोकतंत्र को मजबूत करें.
By there by Nitin Gadkari, and then you can see Sharad Pawar also casting his vote in Baramati, which is the bastion of Pawar's.
Well, Sharad Pawar, the old war horse of Maharashtra, in fact, still fighting a fight of his life every time. I mean, we've been saying the same thing, but it always becomes a fight for his life. Sharad Pawar, still active, still, in fact, very much there, ruling the roost in politics of Maharashtra. But I think Mr. Piyush Goyal is about to speak. He has already casted his vote, newly minted for the first time member of parliament 2024. He became the member of parliament for Lok Sabha, and now in fact he's just cast his vote along with his family, and what we'll try and do, we'll see if Mr. Goyal is speaking and get you a reaction. In the meanwhile, we are seeing all across that high profile leaders are coming out and voting there. Aarti Jairath, while we are waiting for Mr. Goyal to speak, what are you looking out for in this election? Too many permutation, combination, 6 parties in the fray. People still confused who is with who.
Absolutely. In fact, although it's a little early to talk about voter turnout,
yes,
but if you compare the voter turnout in Maharashtra so far with the voter turnout in Jharkhand it's double of what it is in Maharashtra. And if you remember the Lok Sabha elections also, Maharashtra recorded very low voter turnouts, as compared to many other states. And I think that's largely because of the confusion in the minds of voters, because of the jor-tor politics that has taken place over the last 5 years, I would say, because it started immediately after the assembly poll results in 2019, when, although the mandate seemed to be for the Shiv Sena BJP, but actually the Shiv Sena and NCP and Congress formed the government.
Yes, there seems to be some problem with that line of Aditi, but we'll try and connect with her. Yes, Aditi, we will try and fix that line with you. We'll be also joined by Manisha in just a bit. But the larger question is that which way will Maharashtra go? Because it's a very, very fascinating battle playing out across Maharashtra. Multiple issues of farmers, depending on their crops, is different, from the sugarcane farmers to onion farmers to grapes farmers, and everything, all boiling down to this day. Which party reached out to them most, which party, addressed their concerns in their manifestos, all that being put to test. And it's now the Janta which is out there to cast their vote. Voter apathy is something which is of major concerns in all the urban pockets. But yes, Aarti, you were trying to make that point even as we look at voters. Now, it's over to the voters, as they say. Janta Janardan. Janta is mighty.
Absolutely. Yes. And let's hope that, this kind of confused politics that we've seen in Maharashtra for the last 5 years, let's hope that this election helps to sort out some of that confusion and we see some clarity. But what I'm really looking for and what is really interesting me is, of course, there are legacy battles for the
Aarti,
NCP
I'm really sorry I'm interrupting you here.
Yeah,
Piyush
sure,
Goyal is
sure,
speaking
sure.
to our colleague Radhika. Let's just listen in. Okay, or he's just
All
about
right,
to
sir.
speak to our
So we are
colleague
live
Radhika.
on
Go ahead.
NDTV, and he's just asking us to go 50 meters away, as that's the rule. But we'll try and get him. Sir, just outside the gate is when he will speak to us, since we're not allowed, he's not allowed to give a media bite here, but we're just following him, and we'll stop wherever he is ready to speak to us. Sir, you've cast your vote, at least show us your inked finger. Okay, so that's Piyush Goyal showing his inked finger. Sir, tell us, how different are these elections this time? How different are these elections from 2019? What's the kind of difference? Yeah. Yes, sir.
आज ठीक 6 महीने लोकसभा चुनाव के बाद फिर एक बार भारत का, महाराष्ट्र का भाग्य तय करने का दिन आ गया है। आज सुबह से ही मैं उत्तर मुंबई की 6 की 6 सीटों पर किस प्रकार से लोग बाहर उतर रहे हैं, कैसा रिस्पांस है, देख रहा था। और मुझे खुशी है कि भारी संख्या में लोग बाहर आए हैं, अपना वोट डालने के लिए उत्सुक हैं, अपना अधिकार, अपनी जिम्मेदारी का पालन कर रहे हैं। और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि इलेक्शन कमीशन ने जिस प्रकार से इस बार बहुत बढ़िया व्यवस्थाएं की हैं, इतना स्मूथली पूरे प्रदेश में वोटिंग हो रहा है, किसी को परेशानी नहीं, लाइनें लंबी हैं उत्तर मुंबई में खास तौर पे, लेकिन किसी को असुविधा नहीं है। ये देखते हुए मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि इस बार 60% से अधिक वोटिंग होगी। मेरी अपील है सभी से कि सब लोग उतरें। ये वोट मात्र एक वोट नहीं है, हमारे आगे वाले 5 वर्ष तक महाराष्ट्र और मुंबई का भविष्य आप उसके शिल्पकार बनने वाले हैं। मुंबई को अच्छी सुविधाएं मिले, मुंबई का भविष्य उज्जवल हो, हर मुंबईकर को आगे चलकर एक अच्छा जीवन देने का काम आपका एक वोट कर सकता है। मैं सभी को अपील करता हूं कि आप अवश्य वोट डालने जाएं। शाम को 6 बजे तक वोटिंग चालू रहेगी और जितनी बड़ी संख्या में हम सब अपने मत का, अपने अधिकार का पालन करेंगे, मुझे विश्वास है उतना ही अच्छा मुंबई, उतना ही प्रगति महाराष्ट्र की आगे बढ़ेगी, गति मिलेगी और हम विकसित भारत 2047 के लक्ष्य की तरफ महाराष्ट्र का अग्रसर स्थान, नंबर 1 स्टेट जो महाराष्ट्र है, उसको हम आगे भी नंबर 1 बनाए रखेंगे।
मालवार हिल को लेकर एक दिक्कत ये थी कि पिछली बार इलेक्शन कमीशन ने ये कहा कि यहाँ पर वोटिंग % काफी ज्यादा कम हो गया है और उसको कम से कम सुधारने की बहुत जरूरत है।
मैं बधाई दूंगा चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर श्री राजीव कुमार जी और उनके सभी सहयोगियों को, इलेक्शन कमिश्नर्स को, महाराष्ट्र मुंबई के सभी पोलिंग अधिकारियों को, भूषण गगरानी जी हो मुंबई के इंचार्ज, या हमारे खास तौर पे उत्तर मुंबई के जो पोलिंग अधिकारी हैं, यहाँ भी जो अधिकारियों ने व्यवस्थाएं की हैं दक्षिण मुंबई में, मैं समझता हूँ लोकसभा के समय जो कम वोटिंग हुई उसके जो कारण थे, गर्मी का मौसम था, सोमवार का दिन था, लंबी 3-4 दिन की छुट्टी मिल गई लोगों को, साथ ही साथ समर वेकेशन में कई लोग कोंकण या राजस्थान, गुजरात, उड़ीसा, यूपी गए हुए थे और व्यवस्थाओं में भी उस समय काफ़ी कमियां देखने को मिली थी। जो विश्वास इलेक्शन कमीशन ने हमें दिया था जिस दिन महाराष्ट्र के चुनाव घोषित किए, वो आज वास्तव में धरातल पे देखने को मिल रहा है। बढ़िया व्यवस्थाएं हैं। मौसम बहुत बढ़िया, आप देखिए इस समय कितना अच्छा मौसम है। कोई छुट्टियों का सीज़न नहीं है, बुधवार होने के कारण लंबा वीकेंड नहीं है, और साथ ही साथ मुंबई में छुट्टी देने के कारण, महाराष्ट्र में छुट्टी होने के कारण मेरा विश्वास है कि इस बार जो सामान्य तौर पर विधानसभा में कम वोटिंग देखी जाती है, इस बार उसका ठीक अलग दिखने को मिलेगा और 60% से अधिक नक्की वोटिंग होगी। उत्तर मुंबई का आज मैं सुबह से जो मॉनिटर कर रहा हूँ, लगभग रिकॉर्ड वोटिंग हो रही है। इतने सुबह सुबह हमने कभी इतनी वोटिंग
महाराष्ट्र में जिसको किसको वोट मारना है वो उनका अधिकार है, लेकिन उनके अधिकार का हनन करने वाले बीजेपी आज पैसे बांटकर और दारू बांटकर चुनाव जीतना चाहते हैं। तो ये क्या नोट जिहाद है या दारू जिहाद है?
आपका मुख्यमंत्री हो रहा है क्या महाराष्ट्र में?
बिल्कुल महाविकास आघाड़ी का मुख्यमंत्री होगा और बहुमत में सरकार महाविकास आघाड़ी की महाराष्ट्र में आएगी।
आपका नाम फिर से एक बार चर्चे में है। बिटकॉइन स्कैम में आपका नाम लाया जा रहा है। कहा जा रहा है कि गौरव मेहता आप लोगों के संपर्क में था, पैसे आप लोग जो है वो बिटकॉइन के माध्यम से इनकैश कर रहे थे।
भाई ये रविंद्र पाटिल नाम का जो आईपीएस अधिकारी इन्हें लाया है बीजेपी ने, वो आईपीएस है ही नहीं। जो बीजेपी तोतैया पार्टी है, जो खुद ही झूठ पार्टी हो गई, आप तो जुमले पार्टी हो गई है, वो पार्टी इस तरह से चुनाव के शाम को, आज मतदान है और कल शाम को इस तरह की हरकत करना, ओछेगिरी करना, और ये तोतिया आईपीएस अधिकारी को लाकर जिस तरह खुद वो जो तोतिया आईपीएस अधिकारी है वो खुद जेल में था। तो मुझे लगता है कि, और जो वीडियो इन लोगों ने ऑडियो जो वायरल किया है, ऑडियो में मेरी आवाज़ भी नहीं है। और ये बिटकॉइन जो है, मैं तो किसान आदमी हूँ, मेरे को तो दूर दूर तक ये लाइन में मैं नहीं हूँ, मेरे को तो कभी इससे संबंध भी नहीं है। लेकिन हमने अभी कानूनन नोटिस उनको दिया है, कल एफआईआर भी दर्ज हमने किया है रात को, और कानूनी नोटिस भी देंगे। इनके ऊपर एक मानहानि का दावा भी हम करेंगे, और सुधांशु त्रिवेदी हो या रविंद्र पाटिल हो, इनके ऊपर हम मानहानि का दावा भी करेंगे। इनके ऊपर एफआईआर दर्ज भी हमने किया है। और मुझे लगता है कि दूध का दूध पानी का पानी होना चाहिए। इस तरह से किसी की बदनामी करना, जो बीजेपी की हमेशा खासियत रही है, अब मेरे जैसे किसान के लड़के को अगर इन लोग इस लेवल पे बदनामी करने का जो इन लोगों ने छोड़ा नहीं है, तो ये झूठ बोलने वाली पार्टी, इनसे वही लेवल पे कानूनन हम लोग लड़ाई करेंगे।
जिन लोगों का नाम लिया गया है, क्या आप उन लोगों को व्यक्तिगत जीवन में जानते थे? क्या आप कभी उनसे परिचित रहे?
मैंने कभी देखा नहीं है, और ये बिटकॉइन ये इशू मेरे को कभी समझा ही नहीं है। तो मेरे को इसलिए मेरा ये लाइन ही नहीं है मेरा तो, और कौन गौरव है कौन क्या है, मेरा कोई संबंध ही नहीं इन लोगों से। और जो ऑडियो मैंने कल सुना रात को, तो ऑडियो में मेरा आवाज़ भी नहीं है। आवाज़ तो मेरा नरेंद्र मोदी भी पहचानते हैं।
राजनीतिक षड्यंत्र कह रहे हैं आप, कौन कौन लोग हैं इसके पीछे, आपको क्या लगता है?
हम इसलिए कहा कि हम दावा करेंगे, इसमें एक मानहानि का दावा करेंगे, एफआईआर भी दर्ज किया है, और महाराष्ट्र में हमारी सरकार भी आ रही है। इसकी जांच हम उस लेवल पे करेंगे कि जब दोबारा किसी के बाटे ना जाए, गलत इस तरह की अफवाहें उड़ाकर पॉलिटिकल फ़ायदा लेने की कोशिश कोई ना करे, ऐसा इलाज हम लोग करेंगे।
थैंक यू। एक छोटा सा भाई सर, मैं कर लेता हूं।
The chief of the Congress party in Maharashtra, in fact, also speaking about the recent controversy that hit the Congress party and the MVA late in the evening yesterday, when the allegations of Bitcoin for vote being used, in fact, was leveled against Supriya Sule and Nana Patole. He's denying those allegations. Let's go across at this moment to our colleague Anurag, who is joining us from Nagpur, the bastion of the RSS, their headquarters there, the ideological fountainhead of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Anurag, prestige battle there as well for both Nitin Gadkari and Devendra Fadnavis. The Congress party, MVA, also trying to make some inroads, particularly in some pockets of Nagpur. How has been the voter turnout? What are people telling you?
I can show you those visuals because Nitin Gadkari has just arrived at this booth 221 in Nagpur Central. And yes, as you pointed out, Nagpur is the ideological hub of the RSS and central to the Vidarbha region in Maharashtra, witnessing an intense political battle, for Devendra Fadnavis, who vies for his 4th consecutive term and 6th overall as an MLA. Before delimitation in 2008, Fadnavis represented the Nagpur West seat for 2 terms. I just wanted to show you some exciting visuals also. This young lady with a poster, Maje Pahle Matdan, Sorakshana Sati. Ma'am? Ma'am, तुझा नाम क्या है?
मनस्वी आदमने।
मनस्वी, क्या मुद्दे हैं आपके लिए, क्या सोच कर आप?
सिक्योरिटी गर्ल्स के लिए सब अभी जो आ रहे हैं नए सिक्योरिटीज आ रहे हैं, हमें होप है कि गडकरी साहब सब सिक्योरिटीज देंगे हमें।
अच्छा, आप फर्स्ट टाइम वोटर हैं? आपने वोट डाल दिया?
हाँ।
तो अपनी उंगली दिखा दीजिए ताकि लोग जो घर से नहीं निकले हैं मनस्वी, तो वो ये भी अपील कर रहे हैं कि आएँ और मतदान करें। तो महिलाओं की सेफ्टी के अलावा और भी कुछ इश्यूज़ हैं, रोज़गार, एम्प्लॉयमेंट?
हाँ, एम्प्लॉयमेंट्स वगैरह जो है और जो अभी नागपुर में जो डेवलपमेंट्स भी हो रहे हैं,
अच्छा,
वो बहुत अच्छे से हो रहे हैं।
अच्छे से हो रहे हैं। मैम,
हम
आपका
चाहते हैं कि नागपुर में जो भी गडकरी साहब जितने भी एम्प्लॉयमेंट्स, जितनी भी कंपनीज नागपुर में ला रहे हैं उसको जल्दी से जल्दी करिए, और जितने भी नागपुर में रोजगार और एम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए जितने भी इश्यूज हो रहे हैं वो सारे नागपुर में ही होना चाहिए, ऐसे हम चाहते हैं।
आपका शुभ नाम?
मानसी।
मानसी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आप दोनों का। तो यू कैन सी those visuals, and Nitin Gadkari is expected anytime soon at this booth 221. On one side of this particular constituency, you have RSS headquarter, and another side, Mominpura, which is dominated by Muslims. And we spoke to a few of the voters. They are asking for better roads, for water supply, because they say the water supply is not proper in this particular area. But everybody right now is waiting for Mr. Nitin Gadkari. My camera person can also show you those visuals, because Gadkari is expected in few minutes at, he will come out and then he will talk to the media. And Vidarbha comprises of 62 assembly seats, which where historically the BJP and the Congress have locked horns. While BJP secured 44 seats in 2014, the number dropped to 29 in 2019. And, a battle between all the senior leaders like Devendra Fadnavis, Chandrasekhar Bawankule, Sudhir Mangantiwar, Nana Patole. So this particular region is very important in Maharashtra politics, and particularly very important for the BJP and the Congress.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Let's bring in Manisha Priyam now and Aarti Jairath again on the broadcast. So thank you for your patience. Manisha, let me begin with you. The Congress is contesting on the least number of seats it has ever done in Maharashtra. It's 103, battles that it's fighting. And of that, 40 seats in Vidarbha alone. And in Vidarbha, we are seeing the BJP make that push as well. The entire focus of the Congress party was also in this region, because it's here that there is a direct face-off between the BJP and the Congress. How do you look at the battle of narratives in Vidarbha?
So look at this, that we are talking about a Maharashtra state election, and the first question you ask me is about the battle of narratives in Vidarbha. So the most important thing is that we have to see the numbers as highly localized on both sides, and both sides have a highly localized seat-by-seat strategy in terms of how they are going to go ahead with it. It's not just a battle of what the narratives are. Remember, citizens are somewhat at the margins of this election. I think the most important thing is how parties with smaller yet very strong local influences are going to turn around a highly localized verdict and aggregate it all together to create the state which is in India called the Maha or the big Rashtra. So remember, this is a Maha battle. I don't think it's as much about regional narratives as it is about very strong regional footholds and footprints. Vidarbha, as we've known, has been a very important stronghold of the Congress party, but also increasingly of the BJP. It's a straight off between the two. The headquarters of the RSS located in Nagpur, Nitin Gadkari, an important leader there. Also, Bawankule, the head of the BJP political party, comes from that region. So for both political parties, the Congress and the BJP, it's a battle of prestige in Vidarbha. Traditionally, one has seen that in straight battles with the BJP, the Congress has not been able to hold its grounds. Whether Vidarbha bucks that trend or conforms by the trend, that's what is to be seen. As far as Vidarbha is seen and many other areas of Maharashtra, the narratives on part of the people seem to be very, very similar, but the verdict may be aligned more with what type of specific local political battle plays out between the major political contenders there. And I see it as a highly fragmented political party setting, the nightmare of any political analyst. It's not a two-party system. It's a fragmented political party
6
system.
parties which are directly in fray there in Maharashtra. And there are smaller parties as well. And interestingly, Ankit, this time around 28% more independents in fray.
That's right.
That makes it even more fascinating.
So Maharashtra has been, we've seen how Maharashtra, along with these political parties, there are, regional strong players, very strong independents, and that is why it becomes very, very difficult as, to predict. In any case, the pollsters these days are going through a nightmare, whether it's America or India, and this state will give them chills if they want to, in fact, put their neck out at this moment. But Aarti Jairath, let me ask you this. I mean, somewhere this election of Maharashtra is also going to be whatever the result is for a larger narrative. Ma'am, I'm really sorry. Every time I try and come to you, there is a big leader who starts speaking. Nitin Gadkari is speaking at this over. Listen.
सभाएं कर चुके हैं पूरे राज्य में। महाराष्ट्र में मेरा विश्वास है कि इस समय निश्चित रूप से हम लोग अच्छी मेजोरिटी मिलाकर चुनाव जीतेंगे। बहुत सारे नारे दिए गए, बटेंगे तो कटेंगे, उन नारों का भी असर है क्या जमीन पे? अभी सब छोड़ दीजिए। अभी सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात है कि लोगों को वोट देना, और वोट जो है वो डेवलपमेंट के लिए, विकास के लिए, महाराष्ट्र के भविष्य को।
सर 10 साल से केंद्र में सरकार, सर 10 साल से नजर आया था, सर 10 साल से केंद्र में सरकार रही है भाजपा की, यह राज्य में भी है। आप इस बार जब महाराष्ट्र की 80 सभाएं आपने की है कम से कम, क्या आप लोगों में क्या देख रहे हैं, क्या डिफरेंट देख रहे हैं पिछले इलेक्शन?
कहीं भी महाराष्ट्र में जाइए, आपको कहीं भी विकास दिखेगा।
सर
चाहे महाराष्ट्र के सिंचाई प्रकल्प होंगे जो टेम्बू मैसाल जैसे, वो 12,000 करोड़ में जब वाटर रिसोर्स मंत्री था तब महाराष्ट्र को दिए। 6,000 करोड़ बड़ी राजा योजना में दिए, तो 50% से ज्यादा जिनका काम होकर बंद पड़े थे, और 6,000 करोड़ प्रधानमंत्री सिंचाई योजना में दिए। रोड तो आप हर जिले में जाके देखिए, और पूरे महाराष्ट्र की तस्वीर हमारी सरकार ने बदलाई है, और मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में महाराष्ट्र को एक नई दिशा दी है। और महाराष्ट्र की सरकार और हम मिलकर डबल इंजन की सरकार आएगी, और महाराष्ट्र प्रगतिशील, समृद्ध, संपन्न होकर महाराष्ट्र की जनता की पूरी अपेक्षा।
23 तारीख को सर ज्यादा अभी तक
इसलिए मैं सबको आह्वान करता हूँ कि लोकतंत्र का ये उत्सव में आपका अधिकार है वोट करने का। आप बाहर आइए और वोट करिए, ज्यादा से ज्यादा वोटिंग करिए।
आपण खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणात प्रचार केला, 75 पेक्षा जास्त सभा घेतल्या, काय पाहताय महाराष्ट्रात?
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये यावेळी जवळपास सगळ्या जिल्ह्यात फिरण्याची मला संधी मिळाली, आणि मला विश्वास आहे की महाराष्ट्राची जनता महाराष्ट्राचं भविष्य बदलवण्याकरता निश्चितपणे महायुतीच्या मागे ताकदीने
कैंडिडेट सर, जहाँ कैंडिडेट की बात होती है, नितिन गडकरी का नाम सामने आता है। कैंडिडेट क्या कब तक नितिन गडकरी तक की जैसे पहचान बना है? एक बड़ा सवाल है।
After casting his vote, and on the other side at this moment that you see is the Fadnavis family. Devendra Fadnavis, a key, important, in fact, player as far as politics of Maharashtra is concerned. Deputy Chief Minister, coming out and after casting his vote with his mother and his wife at this moment, and Devendra Fadnavis, showing his ink finger. But Aarti, before Mr. Fadnavis starts speaking, very quickly, let me ask you this. For Mr. Devendra Fadnavis also, it's a prestige battle, isn't it? From a man who was the chief minister, demoted to a deputy chief minister, BJP would be hoping that, Devendra Fadnavis especially would be hoping that at least this time he goes back to that promotion of the chief minister if BJP wins big.
Well, it's very interesting that the Mahayuti has not, sort of declared a chief ministerial face in this election, although they have a sitting chief minister in Eknath Shinde. So clearly the post is up for grabs afterwards. And I think everything depends on the numbers each party gets. The BJP is obviously hoping to be a major player. It's contesting the largest number of seats. And, with that, they're hoping, I guess, for a very big strike rate, because a lot of this battle in Maharashtra is between the BJP and the Congress. And they seem to be hoping for a repeat of Haryana, where everybody thought the Congress was ahead, but the BJP pipped them to the post very handsomely. So I think they're hoping for a similar kind of situation in Maharashtra, which will put the BJP in the driver's seat, possibly as the single largest party. And I think that is really what they're hoping for. And that must be what Fadnavis is hoping for too. And then, of course, the inner politics of the BJP will start kicking in, whether Fadnavis actually makes it or whether they choose somebody else. I mean, I'm not going to speculate on that right now. But, I wanted to say earlier that for me, the really interesting thing in the elections, both in Maharashtra and Jharkhand, is the battle between the Congress and the BJP. Yes. Because I think the outcome of the battle in both the states will really determine the shape of the next government in both the states. And whether it will be a repeat of Haryana or whether this time the Congress has managed to get its act together, I don't know. We know on result day.
Like you said, BJP, of course, would be hoping for, to become the single largest party, because post-poll scenario on 23rd, when the results start trickling in, that becomes very, very important. One thing that is certain in Maharashtra is that the Congress and the BJP are not coming together. Beyond that, everything is possible in Maharashtra. So the single largest party will have an edge when it comes to the invitation from the governor to form the government. So that will be a very, very important milestone as far as the BJP is concerned. And Maria, before we move on, let me ask you very quickly. You traveled extensively throughout Maharashtra. I just want to understand specifically when it comes to Vidarbha and Marathwada region. People were talking a lot about the anger that people had, voters had in 2024 general election against the BJP.
Yes.
Has that dissipated? Because it's not been a very long time. Has the Ladki Behan Yojana and other schemes, have they helped in dissipating that anger, or is the situation still the same?
Yes. So I was traveling this entire Nashik belt and Baramati around the Lok Sabha. And I took the same journey, more or less, perhaps more this time around in the assembly elections. And Ankit, yes, that anger has dissipated. My understanding is that whenever voters cast their vote, when it is about revenge or sympathy, they do it only once. So when it was about sympathy for Uddhav Thackeray, they have already cast their vote during Lok Sabha. This time it's a different set of issues completely. In fact, Devendra Fadnavis is speaking. Let's cut across to it.
आपण सरकारकडनं अपेक्षा ठेवतो, त्या अपेक्षा ठेवत असताना जो मतदान करतो त्याला जास्त अपेक्षा ठेवण्याचा अधिकार आहे. त्यामुळे आपल्या सरकारकडनं आपल्या अपेक्षा पूर्ण करण्याकरता सर्वांनी भरभरून मतदान करावं अशी माझी सगळ्यांना विनंती.
मतदारांमध्ये एक वेगळा उत्साह पाहायला मिळतो. पुढे जसं बोललं तर टक्का वाढेल, कशा प्रकारे बघता तुम्ही?
मला निश्चितपणे वाटतं याचं कारण एकतर लोकसभेमध्ये याद्यांमध्ये मोठ्या प्रमाणात घोळ होता, काही प्रमाणात तो कमी झालेला आहे. दुसरं लोकसभेच्या वेळी वोटिंगची
Yes, so Ladki Behan it did find a lot of resonance, Ankit, across Maharashtra, I would say. But the issues of farmers change from one region to another. So the issues of onion farmers is different from issues of sugarcane farmers to grapes farmers to soybean farmers, and all these farmers find different kind of issues when it comes to voting. So that anger is gone completely, I would say. Is there sympathy for Uddhav Thackeray? Maybe in some pockets, not largely in Thane where I was, where it's the actual Sena battle.
Yeah.
Is there, anger for BJP, particularly to do with the Jod Tod Rajniti that we heard a lot 4 months ago? It's no longer there. So people are not talking about Jod Tod anymore. They have come to terms with the fact that there are 6 political parties in fray directly.
Okay.
But there is that quest of stability. So I heard a lot of buzz around stable government, one that completes 5 years in office.
I think Devendra Fadnavis is now speaking in Hindi. Let's listen in.
त्यामध्ये अनिल देशमुखांची घटना असेल, इतर भागामध्ये घटना असेल, कशा प्रकारे बघता, काय वाटतं तुम्हाला?
बहुत बहुत बधाई, बहुत बहुत बधाई.
भाऊ, ज्या घटना घडल्या त्यावरनं काय अनेक उमेदवारांनी काही प्रयत्न केले.
काटोलमध्ये अनिल देशमुखांचं जे प्रकरण आहे, दगडफेक आहे, मी त्याच्यावर कालच बोललेलो आहे आणि ते किती फेक आहे हे काल SP आणि IGंनी जी प्रेस कॉन्फरन्स घेतली आणि पूर्ण घटनाक्रम, त्याचे व्हिज्युअल्स आणि त्याचा एक इम्पॅक्ट ॲनालिसिस हा सगळा सांगितल्यानंतर मी कालच सांगितलं की ही सलीम जावेदची स्टोरी होती. त्याच्यामध्ये रजनीकांतसारखा असा मागून गोटा समोर येऊन लागलेला होता आणि तरी देखील फक्त स्क्रॅच आली होती. त्याच्यामुळे त्यात काय होतं आता सगळ्यांना समजलेलं.
बिटकॉईनमध्ये नाना पटोले आणि सुप्रिया सुळे यांच्यावर आरोप आहे. काही ऑडिओ क्लिप सुद्धा दाखवण्यात आले.
मी देखील मीडियामध्ये हे सर्व बघितलेलं आहे. माझं स्पष्ट मत आहे की या संदर्भात योग्य इन्क्वायरी झाली पाहिजे. काय यात खरं आहे हे सर्वांसमोर आलं पाहिजे, कारण आरोप गंभीर आहेत. अशा गंभीर आरोपांची सखोल चौकशी होऊन त्यातलं सत्य बाहेर येणं हा जनतेचा अधिकार आहे. देखिए, लोकतंत्र का सबसे बड़ा उत्सव चल रहा है. महाराष्ट्र में हमने हमारे परिवार के साथ अभी वोट दिया है और मैं सभी महाराष्ट्र के बहनों भाइयों को और विशेष रूप से हमारी लाडली बहनों को ये अपील करना चाहता हूँ कि बहुत बड़े पैमाने पर वो वोट करें, क्योंकि मतदान ये केवल हमारा अधिकार नहीं है, ये हमारा कर्तव्य भी है. और लोकतंत्र में हम सरकार चुनते हैं और जिसको हम चुनते हैं उनसे ही हम अपेक्षा रखते हैं. तो अगर हम सरकार से अपेक्षा रखते हैं तो वोट करना ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है. इसलिए बढ़ चढ़कर सब लोग वोट करें, ऐसी मेरी सबको प्रार्थना है.
Serious allegations were raised against Vinod Tawde yesterday. Then later, timing has been very interesting. Supriya Sule and Nana Patole, their audios were circulated by BJP itself. Top BJP spokesperson has also taken the press conference. How do you look at the timing as well as the allegations raised by BJP?
जहाँ तक विनोद तावड़े जी का सवाल है, मैंने कल भी स्पष्ट कर दिया, न उन्होंने कोई पैसा बांटा, न उनके पास कोई पैसा मिला. जानबूझकर एक बवाल खड़ा करने का प्रयास किया गया, एक इकोसिस्टम को यूज़ किया गया. जहाँ तक सुप्रिया सुळे जी पर और नाना पटोले जी पर जो आरोप लगे हैं, जिस प्रकार से एक पूर्व आईपीएस अधिकारी ने कुछ आरोप लगाए हैं, कुछ क्लिप्स उन्होंने जारी की है, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये बहुत गंभीर इस प्रकार का प्रकरण है. और मैं आज इतना ही कहूँगा, इस प्रकरण की सिरे से जांच होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि इस प्रकार के एलिगेशन लगने के बाद वास्तविकता क्या है ये दुनिया के सामने आना बहुत ज़रूरी है. एलिगेशन बहुत सीरियस है, तो इसकी पूरी तफ्तीश हो, इसका पूरा इन्वेस्टिगेशन हो और इन्वेस्टिगेशन करके एक फेयर रिपोर्ट लोगों के सामने आए, ऐसा मुझे लगता है.
Ajit Pawar has confirmed that particular audio of Supriya Sule, wherein he has said that I have worked with Supriya Sule for years and I can understand her voice. Supriya Sule has said that this is forged and my voice is not there in that particular audio.
देखिए, पहली बात तो यह है कि वॉइस जो है वो सुप्रिया ताई जैसा हमको ध्यान में आता है, हम उसको कह सकते हैं कि सुप्रिया ताई का वॉइस है, लेकिन विथ ऑल फेयरनेस
Devendra Fadnavis there speaking on the last evening controversy, which had the BJP do a press conference at 10 p.m. and then Supriya Sule speaking to NDTV and saying that the audio is fake and that she has already registered a complaint with the cyber cell of Maharashtra because this is actually a larger defamation attempt at her character. Shifting focus now to Jharkhand, the other state which is going to polls. Remember, this is the second in the final phase in a tribal-dominated Jharkhand, where most of the seats today are in the tribal belt. In fray is also the Chief Minister, Hemant Soren. One of the battles being fought is also of the former Chief Minister and BJP Supremo in the state, that is Babulal Marandi.
His wife, the rising star of JMM,
Yes.
Hemant Soren, his wife is also in the fray in this election. Kalpana Soren held the party together when Chief Minister was, behind bars as soon as he came out. We knew that what happened at that point of time. But very, very interesting what is taking place in Jharkhand as well. And Aarti, if I may bring you in at this moment very quickly, for Jharkhand, 38 seats in this phase of polling. This will also establish whether Hemant Soren is the biggest tribal leader possibly across the country. And number two, I think the who forms the government hinges on the performance of the Congress party, which got 30 seats from the JMM in this alliance.
Really in
Okay, we'll just fix that audio line with Aarti and come back to her. But let's just listen into some reactions of the leaders of Jharkhand, those who voted early this morning.
अपील करता हूं कि लोकतंत्र का ये महापर्व है, अपना मताधिकार का प्रयोग करें। हमें 5 वर्षों में एक बार अवसर मिलता है अपने हाथों से अपने प्रदेश को संवारने का, और इसलिए समस्त मतदाता भाई और बहनों से मैं अपील करता हूं, इस अवसर को गंवाना नहीं। प्राप्त संकेत जो मिल रहा है, झारखंड की जनता अब परिवर्तन का मन बना चुकी है। हेमंत सोरेन की सरकार जा रही है और झारखंड में बीजेपी के नेतृत्व में एनडीए की सरकार आ रही है।
Prabhakar Kumar is joining us live from Bokaro, known for being a steel city once upon a time, and among the districts or urban towns or centers of Jharkhand, Bokaro does have better infrastructure. Prabhakar, has it become a little better now because it's almost going to be 11 a.m. in terms of voting?
Not really, Maria. Not really. That is not a very encouraging picture coming from Bokaro. We are in the urban center. And it's still by the way, Maria is still a steel city. Bokaro still happens to be a steel city. You have a SAIL steel plant, that is Steel Authority of India Limited plant out here. So I can show you 3 booths. None of the voters are here. In morning we saw a stream of crowd here, but now it's almost 11 and the people are slowly trickling in. So we are told that this is how the voting pattern always remains in the urban centers. Now talking about this particular phase, 38 assembly constituencies, second phase of polls in Jharkhand, and the 2 regions, the 2 most important regions, that is Santhal Pargana and Koilanchal. Koilanchal happens to be this coal belt of Jharkhand, which comprises Dhanbad and Bokaro, also the industrial towns of Jharkhand. And Santhal, politically most important region, I would say, because that is the tribal heartland of Jharkhand, and that is what both the NDA and India Bloc is fighting for. We have seen how BJP was trying to build a narrative around for the tribal votes. They started talking about those infiltrators, illegal immigrants. That was basically to target the tribal votes. So today, it would be tested on the ground whether BJP succeeded in denting into the tribal vote bank. Remember, Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, that is JMM, happens to be the tribal, the support base is tribal. They have emerged from Santhal, that is where Shibu Soren and also Hemant Soren, they started their politics from. So it is a test ground today, actually, a testing battle, I would say, from the Santhal Pargana, where which way the tribals actually are voting. BJP has tried hard actually to dent into the tribal vote bank, and it will be interesting to watch whether they have successfully been able to do it.
The Chief Minister, where is Hemant Soren going to cast his vote? Because this is an important battle for him personally as well. At stake is his own party.
See, the polling station where I'm standing, the entire Soren family cast their vote here. But Hemant Soren and his wife, they have already cast their vote in the first phase. They are now registered at Ranchi. So we already have aired it for our viewers. They have already cast their vote, but they are contestants also. So they, both Kalpana and Hemant, they are contestants in this second phase, so they would be in their constituencies, but they can't cast their vote because they've already done so in the first phase. They are registered as voters in Ranchi. But the entire Soren family, when Shibu Soren was well, now he is not keeping well, so he would not come. Hemant's brother, Basant Soren, will certainly be here to cast his vote. The entire family is registered here in this polling station where I'm reporting from as voters. So the first family of Jharkhand, I would say, they are all registered voters from this Sanjeev school of Bokaro.
Thank you, Prabhakar, for joining us with all those details. Very, very interesting, this battle for Jharkhand. And both these states, make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, the result of these states will tell you whether 2024 results of Lok Sabha are going to be the norm, or was that an aberration, or Haryana result became an aberration with what is happening in between. So both the opposition and the BJP would be looking at the results of both these elections very, very keenly. We are slipping into a very short break at this moment. Much more on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
A $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
Donald triumphs. What does Trump's win mean for America, for the world, for the wars, and for India-US relations? Non-stop coverage on NDTV. Top analysts and voices from the ground. Extensive coverage on NDTV.
This week on India Ascends. All eyes on upcoming Rio G20. India poised to mend emerging economies, G7 divisions. Trump 2.0. Is it time up Trudeau? Ottawa stares at fresh turmoil. Chinese security personnel in Pakistan. Is it Beijing's bid to colonize Islamabad? And in Bangladesh, why does Attorney General want secular removed from the constitution? All this and more only on India Sense with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
We reached an agreement on patrolling. We have gone back to where the situation was in 2020, and we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024, the India Century. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inaugural session at the NDTV Summit outlined his vision for the India Century, driven by aspirational India.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने.
The summit brought together prominent global leaders, highlighting India's pivotal role on the world stage.
Not just Indians trusting India's leadership, but the global South especially trusting India's leadership.
Permanent seat on the UN Security Council is something that should be India's right.
Canada is concerned, I think there are some very specific issues. I think a lot of people know that.
AI is going to be one of the most important, drivers.
It's a very exciting time for India, Indian cinema as well at a global level.
NDTV World Summit was more than just a conversation. It was a confluence of ideas poised to shape our global future.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
back. The US Immigration and Customs Enforcement has detained Anmol Bishnoi, the brother of gangster Lawrence Bishnoi. Anmol is currently being held in a jail in the state of Iowa.
According to reports, Anmol, the detention has prompted Indian law enforcement agencies to engage with their US counterparts in order to help secure his deportation or extradition to face charges in India. Sources, though, have told NDTV that he has been detained because some discrepancies were found in his travel documents. Anmol is wanted for the murder of NCP leader Bapa Siddiqui and firing outside Bollywood superstar Salman Khan.
तालियों के साथ हम स्वागत करेंगे आदरणीय मोदी जी का।
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की।
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं.
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही. त्यांचा परिवारवाद आमचा महाराष्ट्रवाद.
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 1,75,000 जागा रिक्त पण का भरत नाही? राज्याची जनतेच्या घमाच्या पैशाची तिजोरी लुटण्यासाठी हे सरकार आहे.
पूर्वीच्या सरकारच्या काळामध्ये निधी देताना त्यांना असं वाटायचं की त्यांच्याच खिशातले पैसे चालले. शेतकऱ्यांना मोफत वीज देण्याचं काम आपल्या सरकारने सुरू केलं.
The last elections of 2024. It's the battle for India's economic heart. An election that will decide Maharashtra's future.
Can the big brother BJP manage the competing ambitions of Mahayuti? Can the Red Book rally the voters once again for Congress and its allies? So as Maharashtra's future trajectory takes shape, we report from the ground.
Two visions, two ideology, one verdict. An election where no caste chemistry can yield a perfect formula.
It's a state that is splintered with power battles. The big question, will Maharashtra poll outcome unify parties or divide them further? And who will emerge as Maharashtra's undisputed leader?
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 20.
It's a battle of two states, 288 constituencies in Maharashtra, and the final phase in Jharkhand in 38 constituencies. You can see those visuals. It's promising early morning. There are long queues being seen. But the larger question is, will Mumbai, which is infamously known for its voter apathy, actually beat that trend? Or will Mumbaikars say thumbs up to going out and casting their votes?
Very good morning from Maria and I. And at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, these two states are voting. And for the larger electoral narrative in the country, a lot of eyes, lot at stake, both in Maharashtra and Jharkhand. We'll get you all the details. Let's start with the headlines.
Mumbai votes in a trickle, less than 7% voting in India's financial capital till 9 a.m.
Well, celebs are out in good numbers in Mumbai to vote. Sachin Tendulkar, Sunil Shetty, Farhan Akhtar among the early voters. Akshay Kumar, Rajkumar Rao also join in. Mahayuti versus Mahavikas Aghadi, the battle in Maharashtra. So far, 6.6% overall turnout in Maharashtra till 9 a.m.
Final